We'd like to take a minute here at Redline Radio LLC to thank all of our great sponsors. Detroit Auto Parts is the official parts store of Redline Radio and home of our original studio. With two convenient locations, one on the east side, you can call 216-531-7373, or on the west side, and that west side location is also the home of Redline Radio Studio number 1. You can call them at 216-398-7373. At either location, mention Redline Radio and get 10% off your purchase. Speaking of sponsors that sponsor stations, Growing Wings Adult Services is the official sponsor of the state-of-the-art Studio number 2. Growing Wings Adult Services has over 7 years experience taking care of adults with disabilities. For more information, contact Lisa today at 234-334-7547. And as testified by all their satisfied customers, Dynatech's diamond saw blades are the fastest cutting, longest lasting. Customer satisfaction is how we measure success at Dynatech, and our engineers are always available to help you troubleshoot and solve a problem on your job site. Dynatech is the only saw blade company recommended by the pavement marking manufacturing industry. They're located in Elyria, Ohio. Dynatech is committed to being the top diamond saw blade company around the world. You can contact Dynatech today at 1-800-466-9001, or you can visit their website at dynatech.com. NASCAR fans, if you're looking at getting specialized past or present NASCAR diecast and model car kits, you reach out to Pit Road Diecast. Bill Rabbits and the team are there for all your diecast needs. Call them today, 216-355-2347. Mention Redline Radio and get $5 off your in-store purchase. Let's not forget about the official merchandise provider of all things Redline Radio. That would be Incredible Keepsakes. T-shirts, cups, binders, keychains, you name it, Incredible Keepsakes can make it. The official merchandise provider for Redline Radio LLC and our show hosts. Call Mike and Diane today at 440-242-9648 or check out all their great merchandise at IncredibleKeepsakes.com. As Diane always says, cherished moments are made to last forever. Let's talk about home improvement. When we talk home improvement, we talk Wiggins Construction and Home Improvement. Bathrooms, kitchens, windows, doors, siding, radio stations, and so much more. Residential or commercial, call Will today, 440-731-7654, and tell them Redline Radio sent you. Bad Juju still remains the official band of Redline Radio LLC, covering all your favorites from the 80s and 90s. To book Bad Juju today, contact Chad Moon at 440-458-0209. Lucy's Pub is where we go when we like to unwind after a busy day. Located at 2218 Broadview Road in Cleveland, Ohio, Michelle and the staff at Lucy's are always committed to giving their guests the best experience. Join them every Friday night for karaoke and, of course, all your hometown sports games. Call them today, 216-675-0013. Stock car racing fan? I am. The premier stock car racing series in Northeast Ohio, Michigan, and Indiana. Redline Radio is proud to sponsor the Ohio Wheelman Series. Still looking for sponsors for 2023? No better way to get your logo out there than on the fastest street stocks in the state. Not to mention, local racers are some of the most loyal people when it comes to supporting local sponsors. Reach out to Will Wiggins today about how you can be a part of the Ohio Wheelman Series. Driveway looking a little rough? Well, we know who to call. ACS, Affordable Concrete Solutions, LLC. Call them today at 440-714-1987 or go to their website, Affordable Concrete Solutions, LLC. You can also email them at Affordable Concrete Solutions, LLC redlineradio@gmail.com. Looking to advertise with a radio station? Get a hold of Dave at Redline Radio at 440-503-0828. And for all of our programming information, check out redlineradiolllc.com. You know what else we got there? A 24-hour live radio station playing all kinds of music all day and all night. You can also check us out on social media at Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, LinkedIn. And if you want to take Redline Radio on the go with you, download the Redline Radio LLC app on the Google Play Store.
Hey man, what happened to you?
Look, let me tell you, I crashed my bike, my arms was dragged and mangled and was torn right off.
Holy smokes, what are you going to do now?
Well, luckily, I have the Get Hurt, Get Paid program from American Income Life.
Oh yeah, why is that?
Well, I was in a hospital for 5 days and they paid me for every day I was there. $600. I got a lump sum check for $3,000 for my lost wages and another check for the loss of my arm. $30,000.
Wow, man. I've never heard of American Income Life.
That's because they're a union benefits company that's now available for everyone. They have income protection for lost wages, mortgage protection, a college education program that I got my son for $100,000, a life insurance plan that if I die in a Lyft, Uber, train, plane, or any other motor carrier, my family is protected financially for up to $300,000. That's not including the term of a whole life insurance, plus so many other plans to financially secure your family's future. In fact, all my kids are guaranteed insurable for life, no matter what happens in their future. Whether they develop cancer, start smoking, get arrested, or become critically ill.
Wow, they have cancer protection too?
They got cancer protection, whether you get cancer or you don't get cancer. They pay you either way.
That's amazing. How do I get in on that?
Just call my boy GT at AIL at 330-441-2589 or Cindy at 330-416-8264.
For sure, bro. What was that number again?
That's GT at 330-441-2589 and Cindy at 330-416-8264. Make sure you leave a message because if they don't hear from you, then they can't help you.
That's right. I'm going to call right now.
And we are live, back, July 22nd, 2023. And the TMI show on Redline Radio is indeed the place to be. It is your host, the king, the man, Pothole Pablo. And I'm joined by the livest, illest, most intelligent, extreme, smart, best looking, smell good. We do that. Team in the galaxy. It is the Cleveland Outlaws. We got, you like my Bobby Rush voice today. Yeah. We got my man, me with the money on the ones and twos. Oh yeah, he gave himself a sound effect all day. You know what I'm saying? We got Queen Adrian in the building. We got King Uncle Rags in the building. We got King Slick Nick in the building. We got Queen Steph in the building.
Sexy Deli.
In the building.
Alrighty then.
He has his own section. He got his own
They
section.
booing it, man. But that's not, they're saying, that's all the ladies like, that's my boo.
That was a mixed reaction. It was a mixed reaction.
So, find some positivity in that.
Gotta find some positivity.
Got to.
So last week we hit y'all off with part 1 of Battle of the Generations, and without further ado, we're gonna slide into part 2 of the Battle of the generations.
So,
And today we're actually going to be reading comments that came from our audience over the last couple of weeks when it came down to this topic. So yes, today on Redline Radio, TMI show, y'all are the stars. The audience is the stars. So let's get right to it. Are you ready? So we're going to let Queen A take it away. Go ahead, bring them on in and let them know how to win.
Before we get started, I just want to remind you guys that some of tonight's topics may be too sensitive for a particular audience. So
Get closer to the mic.
some of tonight's topics may be too sensitive for a particular audience. So viewer discretion is advised.
Might get y'all might need some lotion. They sensitive.
why lotion for sensitivity?
You
Why
got
that for
sensitive skin, you want to have the right
Sensitive.
type of lubrication. I don't know.
Oh man.
So let's get right to it.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, so our first topic question is, which generational norms would you like to go back and change if you could? Now, some of our audience suggested, they said having no internet.
Okay, that's always a good one. Cause
Another one said making abortions legal. Another one said having to live in survival mode.
survival mode.
I get what
Isn't
they're
that what
saying.
we're doing now?
No, that's what they're saying. If they can change.
If you're black, I'm pretty. That's kind of.
They're change. No, what they're saying is they would change the fact that we're always having to live in survival mode. So I guess they're saying that they would want like a more freer, relaxed life. I'm guessing.
Yeah, but like the only thing with that is if you go back in the day, it was like harder.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think we know a time that we wasn't in
Survival mode. Like I would definitely take today over like growing up in like I don't know 1838. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't.
that's not a survival mode I don't want to experience.
I don't want to.
I don't know.
I wasn't cut out for that life.
What life would have been like?
I don't want to do none of that yet. I would rather live in this survival mode than have Willie Lynch and his army chasing me and tying me up the tree.
It was a lot of real stuff.
Yeah. This is automatic. Automatic survival. What's it? Not automated survival mode. This is everything's automatic. We're surviving, but it's like push a button. Which button to push? Don't push the wrong button. Don't make them,
Push the button.
Don't push the wrong one.
Don't push the wrong.
You want the red one or you want the blue one?
That's the only thing I think of. Like you gotta think of. Make sure you push all the right buttons.
Now the last answer that we got was the world knowing that there are only two genders.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's not three.
There's only two.
There's literally only two.
No matter how you put a spin on it, it still comes out two.
Well, in the insect kingdom, there's three. You have asexual.
But that's
Worms.
But that's the insect kingdom.
Yeah, I just throwing that out there representing for
I mean, even though I'm a Scorpio, I still don't identify with all that part.
I don't know the new word for it, but I know like the ones that's born with both a male and female.
Hermaphrodite.
So it's a new word for it because they found that offensive.
I thought that was the original
That was
term.
the original.
Oh.
thing, but
So what do they like to be called now?
There is a new word for it.
There's a new word for what? For the third gender?
Yes.
Oh, they have.
I got an answer for something we should bring back: real education in schools.
That word.
Yeah,
That's a-
Black History Month.
Here's a question: when has real education ever existed exactly?
That's a good question.
Because we don't. Because here's the thing:
There's
you go
stuff
back in
they
them.
don't teach no more.
Well, yeah, but like home ec. You mean like home ec and stuff like that?
No, they've literally
Well, I mean-
erased 9/11 from the history books.
Already?
Yes.
Wow.
And then a lot of
Why? The whole world's gonna know about it every time it comes around.
In their history books, they're taking out slavery.
Yeah, now that definitely is happening.
They've actually took that
In
out
Florida,
everywhere.
it's out of there.
Like it's some schools here that still got it in some of their books, but it's some
Yeah,
states that
yeah.
ain't
Go
paying it.
during Black History Month and try to watch a movie about slavery. You will not find one.
Hey, you know what's crazy? When I was in high school, I was going to Orange, and when I first started going there, they didn't teach Black History. Like, and then Black History Month rolled around, it was like they just skip right past it. And so I asked my
Yeah.
teacher, like, and she was an English teacher. I'm like, there was no black literary art, writers that we can learn about. She was like, well, my lesson plan comes around every year, but February come around every year.
Exactly.
I literally went and fought with the Board of Education to get Black History taught at Orange High School because it was doing us dirty. They was like acting like it really didn't matter, which is crazy.
Also, we get the shortest month out of the year.
Yeah. So there's some education because they don't remove music programs out of school. They don't remove physical education out of school. They don't remove home ec out of school. Like y'all say, they removed important.
They don't teach cursive no more.
They don't.
They don't even teach the kids.
They don't
how to write
teach
a
cursive.
anymore.
That's true. They don't teach. They stopped teaching them like how doing checkbooks and stuff like that. And so it's education. Yeah, now that you actually are right, Nick.
See, that's probably why these kids don't want to go to school and ain't gonna be able to learn nothing. Y'all
What are
stopping
they learning?
everything. You're stopping everything.
Everything is on the internet.
Well, kids don't go to school.
Everything's on the
Let's be
computer.
honest. We went to school because learning was important, but most of us went to school because we were athletes, and you had to get through the first 8 hours of school to get to your after-school athletic program. Once they removed athletics from the school, a lot of kids stopped attending school, and then once they made muni leagues cost $400 a month to participate in, they literally gave our kids no choice but to turn to the streets to find their enjoyment, the streets and the internet.
Man. And then No Child Left Behind really didn't help out
at
too.
all.
Me, I didn't go to school. I stopped going in. When I got in high school, I got bored. I wasn't on any athletic teams. I got bored because the curriculum that they were teaching us, I wasn't grasping anything versus what I was learning in junior high.
Here's the
And
scary
other
part.
schools were learning. So I was cutting school all the time. Me and my friends, groups of us cutting school, we weren't learning anything.
So here's a question.
Y'all was out here thugging.
Because one of the answers was they would go back and change having no internet. So you think if we went back to the days where we didn't have internet, it would be easier to bring back those different activities that are missing from school?
We would have to.
Yeah, because a lot of kids, how many people, when it comes down to what we know and everything like that, ain't too many things you could draw back on. Yeah, I learned that back in the 9th grade. How many of us just hit Google? You know what I mean? Because there's really nothing that they taught us in high school, in our grade school eras of life that we do apply to, except for like simple math. Other than that, and writing the basics. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, they really didn't give us tools in the educational system for the world outside of school. When you become an adult.
Well, our generation did, because somebody said, we had home
somewhat.
ec, we had wood shop, we had,
Trade.
they
taught you a trade.
Had
They
wood
taught you
shop.
budgeting and
I had
life
wood shop. That
skills
was fun.
classes. Yeah, so we definitely had stuff that taught us. We had the sewing and all that. So, not so much this generation, but and our generation actually probably caught the last of it. We didn't have as much as probably the generations before us. But we
That would be
definitely
me.
But you know what?
But now here's a question. Now here's a question I do want to
Yeah,
ask.
this guy.
In your
Yeah, that
generation,
was
when it came down to those things like that, were they education? Were those classes like electives, or was that like a part of the curriculum?
It was
Because
at that time, it was a part of the curriculum because we're talking the 60s, you know, the 40s, the 50s, and the 60s. I mean, I was in elementary school in the 50s, so it was a curriculum. They called it a curriculum, and then in the 60s, in junior high and high school, I loved English. I had a great English teacher. I had a great art teacher. You know, I learned in English. I studied hypnosis. I learned about the Pavlov theory and drama.
In
I had
English?
Yes, I had an English
This English
teacher.
teacher
and,
was watching Get Out.
you know, I had an art teacher. We used to look. And she made it interesting. We had art contests, and we went to. We would look at different artists and listen to classical music on the screen. That's how we studied art. I took architectural classes. So we had classes. We had curriculum. I even had a cooking class. I learned how to make a red velvet cake. I was on the swim team.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, I was on the swim team. I was on the, so today it's different because you got the confusion is this gender and that gender. It's so
internet.
caught up. They're so caught up in this. Everybody's confused. Back then, it was real easy to learn something. It's more easier to learn something then than I think it is today.
Well, one of the
With all
things is
technology.
because of the internet. I think the internet contributed to, and this is not like a contribution in a positive way, but like back in the day when it came down to knowledge, you actually had to go search it and find it,
Yes.
you know, and
You
get.
had to do the research.
You had to do research, and you had to have your sources, and you had to find the right reputable sources.
And we wrote essays.
Exactly. Now, and you read, right? Nowadays, when people, because you could say, hey, I'm looking for this. You go on the internet, you might not even get the right answer, but if it's an answer that fits into your criteria, you're going to accept that answer. It could be the wrong answer, but if it's the answer that will make you look right, then that's the answer that you're going to go with. And you don't have to go out and check sources and check and fact check and see where that information comes from. There's so much confused information on the internet compared to back in the day when we had books and you really had to go to the library.
You had to read.
I was just about to say, how many times after school?
Yeah, after school, I used to go to the library like every day.
Yeah.
That was like mandatory.
Yeah, I
though.
did that
You had to
too.
have, like,
Yeah.
I love the library. Like I used to go to the library, check out a book, read it. Nowadays, it's not. If you go to the library now, there's a lot of books that's not on the shelves. You know what I mean?
You used to get like points, like, and you could like for how many library books you checked out, and you could write like the short little book report about it, and you got so many points, and then you could like win like different things.
Summer reading list.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Because a lot of those books and things has been replaced with apps and has been replaced with games that's on the phones. And also another thing back in the day that's different is when I got home from school, hey mom, I'm out. I'm going to the library, right? Nowadays, you just can't just let your kids just go out there in the streets because it's so many different factors that they might not come home just from walking down the street to the library. So you don't let your kids just freely go to the library. Parents are working now more, so they don't even have time. They're not at home to even take their kid to the library. So they're at home, they got their tablet, they got their internet, they got their computer. If they need to find something, they'll go Google it. And now they don't even know if what the information that they're Googling and the answer that is getting right is true. But if it makes them feel better about the answer they're receiving, they'll accept that, you know?
Well, Jasmine said bring back debate club, shop classes, trade certificates
go.
while in high school. Jessica Steffi's the host of the Women's Health Summit. She said, internet made everything more convenient, so you don't have to learn, just know how to watch a video. The Dewey Decimal System is lost on this generation.
That is
Yes.
Oh man.
Great comments to our audience.
Yes.
Great
He
comments.
said the fact that Daddy said the blue. Oh, I was gonna say yeah.
Because I work with youth, and it's sad and it's scary because
TMI Show is brought to you by American Life Family Insurance.
none of them know about encyclopedias. And what I do now with my two kids, I have a whole set of encyclopedias, and they have to do me three to four different reports a year, and they have to read. They have to do their research in those encyclopedias. My oldest, she's so stuck to going online. No, you're going to go to the library and not going to use the computer. We go to the library downtown because the city libraries don't have
The library
everything.
downtown is
So we
amazing.
go downtown and they have a ball. Like I can't get them from down there, but still they have to do that every year. Like I'll never give them encyclopedias.
So
ever.
let's talk about the next answer that they gave. This is a sensitive area, sensitive topic, but here at the TMI Show, we do, we get rough, we ashy. You know what I'm saying? So
Real
now,
rough.
but we're gonna talk about like the mentality behind this, not the actual in fact, but we're saying like somebody commented abortions should be legal, and that goes to women's rights. So
That is just
I ain't gonna speak on it because
sensitive.
the last time we was talking about it,
Federal.
we got in trouble. So I ain't gonna
so here's the question though:
pro-lifer, so-
do we think that women's rights are being eroded these days? Roe versus Wade.
Yeah, I'll say
I
that.
I will say that. I even though I'm a pro-lifer, I do agree with a woman's right to choose.
I agree. That I agree with. I'm pro-life, but I also am, if you get to a situation, you get to a place in life to where that might not be what you had expected.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Because I'm under
you want to be able
circumstances.
to make
kinda
that
guy.
choice.
Under the
That's what I
circumstances,
am.
if it's affecting the health of the mother, if it affects the health of the child, and there has to be a tough decision made, or if you're a child and you were molested or raped.
I was gonna
you know
say
what I'm
it's
saying?
forced upon some of
And,
these
you
young
know
women, too.
that's where that exception should come in. Not this is out for a bad for because you decided to go out and party hard that night and then use protection. It should be I feel
I think we are seeing a very rise in the number of young teens going to jail because they killed their babies because they're being forced to be mothers when they're not ready.
Yeah, and it's when you have how many kids the adoption circuit where you have foster homes and things of that nature, that's already packed, and that system is already jacked up enough. So now we're gonna force more babies into that system that hasn't even been repaired. So I could see if they did this. All right, we're gonna repair the system for foster home kids first to make sure that those kids that is all that system is set up right. Then we're also gonna set up treatments and clinics for mothers. It's counseling areas for teenagers who might be pregnant or mothers that might be pregnant. So then you have these layers set up. So once it gets to that point, you have all of these other systems in place. So if you do all right, cool. If you take that right away, per se, now if you have these babies coming into the world, they have better options and they have better opportunities at just having a normal life as possible, rather than you just shoving them into a system, in the prison system, in the street system, in the homeless shelters, in bad foster homes. Because how many times have we heard of these kids go to foster homes, get molested, get beat? You know what I mean? They need to set that stuff up, making sure that once these babies are born and they do have an opportunity at life and breathing, that now they have an opportunity at life as much as possible to succeed, because ain't nothing perfect. But we just can't just say, okay, you're gonna have this baby no matter what, and there's no health procedure set up for this woman. There's no type of, all right, so if this lady's gonna have this baby, her health is affected. Are y'all gonna have some type of medical payments in place where it's not gonna come out her pocket, not gonna affect her family, not gonna affect the baby if the baby is gonna come out and the baby has different, disabilities?
And then what happens if the mother dies?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Who's gonna pay for the funeral? It's not the
gonna take care
government.
of the baby?
Them senators that voted, they not.
Right.
The hospital's not. The and so that burden's on the family. But nobody's thinking about is
Yeah, and I'm with you on the
I'm
whole.
pro-life. That's pro-life as well. That's a version of pro-life.
Exactly, and like the way you said it is exactly the way I have felt about that from day one. And my thing is like if a woman gets raped, or even if a child gets raped, that's already traumatizing enough as it is. Now they're being forced to carry the stigma literally for 9 months in their body. And then that child's going to come out and what's to say they're not going to neglect that child or worse, resent this child because of what it.
And now that child's parents.
Exactly.
So if that teenager stays with her parents, that financial burden's on their parents. Now on top of that, you got that child's education is going to be affected. She's not going to be able to go to school as much, doctor's appointments, things of that nature.
She's living in shame.
And on top of that,
who was affected
on top
like
of
this.
that, so when we talking pro-life, let's consider about all the lives that's affected. I'm pro-life, like all the lives that's involved, not just what's going on the inside. Because if things ain't right on the outside, when that baby come out, then what's the point anyway? You just putting that baby.
Set that baby up for failure.
Exactly. And now you're gonna be when that baby grows up, guess what? You're ready to put it in jail because it committed a crime.
And then if you really think about it and you break it down, the suicide rates have risen because of situations like this. Because you have children coming into this world where they're already hated because of the circumstances that were born into.
Suicide by the parents, murder suicides where the parents kill the kids and kill themselves because they were forced to put in this situation. Because honestly, if you care about your children, right, and you and say for instance, if you're a lady, you were raped, or if you was a 16-year-old girl and you went to a party, somebody slipped you a roofie, and they or you got drunk, because even if that still don't give nobody the right, you feel me? And so now. Okay, now you gotta be forced to raise this child where, in the projects?
Right.
And you know what I mean? Now you gotta force to be raise this child in the hood. Now you gotta you gotta fill out all the paperwork for the food stamps and you can't. And if you're staying with your parents and they're making a certain amount of money, you might not get them. So we are forcing women and young men and children into messed up situations before they took care of the other stuff that also goes into raising a baby.
And let's be honest, people working in politics don't understand poverty because they're not living in poverty.
No. Exactly.
They can't identify with what it would be like raising a child in these circumstances.
And we living in the generations of second generation and third generation politicians. These ain't like the politicians that just started off when the country first started off. These people are from families that's been in politics for years. So they never had a poverty. They never had a moment of poverty. You got politicians that's in office that don't know what working 9 to 5s is like. That don't know what actually raising a family is like. That don't know what's going.
Steak and potato every night. Never had to worry about food stamps or anything.
Nothing. Never had to worry about their bills. Those are the people that we have in charge now that are making rules for us. So
their kids are being born knowing they're going to be lawyers and doctors and politicians and things like that. So they don't understand what it's like to live in this type of world.
Right. And you mentioned the adoption thing really quick. It's looking like me and my wife may not be able to have kids. So we were looking into adoption. If you make less than $900,000 a year, good luck.
Wow.
That ain't changed.
So yeah, so it's a lot of so when we, and that's why we have these discussions here on air. It's not to ruffle feathers for real. It's really so we can find some truth and find some understanding in what's going on out here. So yeah, I understand some people might be ruffled by the abortion conversation, but if you're not having it, you're gonna let the politicians have it. So y'all don't want to talk about it here, but y'all let it talk about them there and then complain about whatever they rule down. Nah, so if y'all don't want that, let's talk about it now and get under the same accord.
Jasmine said the force is going to push women to have these babies and harm these babies, which will then fill the jails. Yep. And then Jessica said that's why they should only have civil servant salary, which was the original design for the country. Talking about the politicians.
Yeah, these politicians, they making $500, $600, $1 million a year. They got from
they
what?
Had a civil servant salary.
I ain't give you a raise.
They only make so much a year. And it kept them honest and it kept them in touch with what was going on in the world. Now they have no caps on the salary that they can make, and it's like they've lost their touch back with reality. So they don't care about what it's like to be at the bottom because they're never going to see it. Facts. Even if the crooked politicians who went to jail, they still got cushiony cells and nice.
The white collar, they had camp.
Yeah, they still don't see.
That's called white collar crime.
Well, every president has civil or Secret Service for the rest of their life too.
Yeah.
And access to all the country's documents even after they're out of office.
Even after they're out of office, yeah. They still get the same. The only thing they remove is them being in the White House.
So nowadays you got politicians. They don't even run for. They're not even running for office for the They're working for the. They're going for the perks and the money. They're not even there for the people anymore.
They're going for the safety and cushion of being able to hide.
Well, I mean, think about what Joe Biden just recently revealed, that he was selling state secrets when he was working with Obama.
Oh man,
wouldn't be surprised.
Not surprised at all.
That would not be surprised.
So let's move on to a lighter note.
They vote themselves to get They vote to give themselves raises, and they only work 6 months out of the year.
That's crazy.
That is very true.
Wow. All right, so now moving on to the next statement, having to live in survival mode. What does that mean exactly? We bring it back, living in survival mode. So we want to go back to y'all ever play that game Oregon Trail in school?
I remember that.
You remember that? So it's
on
a game.
The computer.
On the computer. It was back when the computer and the screen was green and everything was blocks. It was back in the early 90s. Deli, you too young for this. I am 38. I'm almost 40. But Nick, we the same age, so Adrian, you should remember this.
Then I'm too old for it because I don't know.
Yeah, so Oregon Trail. Do you remember Oregon Trail, Lee? You ever play Oregon Trail?
Who told you this?
I killed my civilians every time.
So you know what? So, all right, so Oregon Trail is this game, right? And you start off with with a husband and wife, and it's basically about how you're trying to go across the plains of the West, Oregon, and survive the wilderness and stuff, right? You got kids, right? And in the game, you have to hunt, you have to gather food.
Kendra said it was on a floppy disk.
Yeah, it was on a floppy disk. Yeah,
floppy disk.
And in the game had real stakes to it because if you didn't hunt, then it'll be your daughter died from hunger, or your son had malaria, and you have to get medicine.
It's raining. Take shelter.
Yeah, take shelter. Oh, you didn't. Yeah, and now you have pneumonia. So and it's it is literally and it was life or death. That game was life or death, intense for kids. If you ain't ever played Oregon Trail, Nick, I can see the stress on your face.
My
I done lost 30 kids.
I never played like that. I remember the game. I
And it
don't
haunts me
recall
every-
ever like.
I played it every day, bruh.
to
Every
know it
day.
like
She
that.
just said her family always died from malaria.
For real, yeah. You so it's no joke, and it hurts you every time. As a kid,
Because you
that-
got attached, huh? You got,
yeah, it's like you'll get attached.
I didn't ever get into it like that.
And
though.
so survival
What's fun
mode.
about this game? I'm trying to figure out.
So
I'm
what?
about to find this.
Look, I play like, and I was in Alabama and Pent Lala. Shout out Pent Lala playing this game.
I forgot. Kendra's like, you had to bury him too. I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
you literally
part.
did. You had to.
Oh man,
It was dark. That game was dark.
that is real.
That game was very
Is
dark.
this a game
It
for
must
kids?
be.
You had to kill your dog, and you like you would have a horse, right? And you would have to decide, as we're gonna use this horse
Had to
for,
kill Sparky.
for food. You would like your horse would die, so now y'all can't go any further. You would have donkeys. You would gather cattle and things of this nature. And it was that game was serious.
To think all this time I thought my mom was punishing me by making me read books as a kid.
I mean,
Play some Oregon Trail.
Yeah,
Trail.
I
it got
think
real,
I was really
and it's like you would only be playing
Might
it for
have to
15
bury
minutes
your-
before somebody died. It ain't you
Might
ain't
have
even
to
get
bury
all the way
cow.
into the game.
That's supposed. What was that supposed to do for children?
That was supposed to teach us survival mode.
Go home, mommy. I learned about survival
But-
today. My
but-
animals die. Like
Now,
wow.
in today's day, let me ask you all the serious question. If, say for instance, you know how they always talk of solar flares or something like that.
Yeah.
If a solar flare, major blackout happened, how many do y'all think that this generation will be able to survive like apocalyptic times?
We did it 20 years ago. Remember that blackout?
yes.
That was a day, and half of us
You
didn't.
know why I think we will be able to
Oh, we
survive?
did.
Why is that?
Because we survived COVID.
Yeah, but our power was still on.
Yeah.
I'm talking about you killed the power, and we had internet, we had TV.
I don't know how long Red Line been over here on this west side, but if it's been, you would know that we was in the dark a lot with Cleveland Public Power doing like it was so
I'm talking-
hurtful because we couldn't.
I'm talking about it ain't coming back on. I'm talking about it's gone forever. If you wake up tomorrow, your car don't work. Because during COVID, your car still works, so you can kind of your car don't work, right? There's no air conditioning, there's no heat, there is no electricity, no internet. Like the grocery stores is shut down, all the food is gone bad. You have to literally go out and hunt and plant your own food. You have to your house ain't got the. You have to go out there and build your own shelter one day. You might have to move because people is trying to break into your house and stuff, and you ain't even moving in your car. You have to move on foot. First of all, how many people out here know how to in the studio? How many people know how to ride a horse? Okay.
Y'all lucky. I guess.
How many people in the studio know how to literally plant their own food and raise it, corn, all that? All right, cool. Man, we good. I'm gonna have to stick. We're gonna stick together during this time.
Shoot bow and arrows.
Word.
All that.
Yeah, so
I can
right.
Bow and
survive.
arrows,
I
that
can-
too.
So and know what leaves to wipe your ass with when you poop in the woods.
You said what?
There are certain leaves. There are certain leaves.
Growing up in the country.
Don't you use no
That's-
poison ivy.
Yep.
Yeah, I was just about to say, you don't want to wipe your ass with no poison oak.
No, you don't. You gotta know what leaves to use though, because
gotta
but
know
that's
what
that's
you
what it
use.
is. Ain't toilet tissue ain't out there. You feel me? You have to go. I'm talking about all the way full survival mode. How many days do you think that humanity will last before every chaos just breaks out? Nah, I would say about 2 hours.
Check this out.
I would survive.
I'm gonna give them a day.
You gonna give them 24 hours? If they
Oregon Trail.
Oh, snap.
Oh my god. Oh my
I
god.
had that experience. I've never had that game.
oh
my
man,
gosh,
I'm
bro.
having goosebumps.
Man, dude. Listen, 1994 just came
That's
all the way
crazy.
back.
That's what that say? 1846. Wow.
Yeah, real talk.
I remember seeing it, but like I said, I never
1848.
got into it like that.
That's crazy.
Man, listen.
Word.
Cranwood Elementary.
So we
stand
talk,
up.
survival mode. Like, do y'all think? How long do you think y'all would last?
Me or
Yeah. How long do you think? Yeah. Like, how long
I
do you
would
give?
survive.
You think you sit? Like, can you give 10 to 15 years? Just say on a scale of 1 to 10, do you think you can make it 10 to 15 years? 10, absolutely. 1, nah. Can you make it 10 to 15 years? No electricity, no your kids, family, no electricity, no
10
refrigerator,
years.
no house.
10 years.
Yeah, I'm a survivor, bro. I'm
Right on.
a survivor, bro.
I'm saying, how long do y'all think y'all will be able to last though? Be real. Be realistic.
My mom said, I know my family will be good because these are things that I've been preparing them for. So, yeah. Are we good over here?
I mean,
We've been preparing.
I've
for
been
this for
surviving
a
this
while.
long. I feel
I'm
like
gonna survive
I'm
now,
gonna make a
but
way.
I know I'm gonna survive.
I'll make a way.
Yeah,
And
that
my
part.
kids gonna survive because they know how to shoot bow and arrows and all of that. Know how to tie 8 to 9 different knots and stuff like that. So We know.
I didn't,
yeah,
I
we
didn't,
know.
I didn't experience poverty. I know what it's like to come home and the lights don't come on and the house is cold and you gotta sleep through that and see if you can break through that. So yeah, I'm a survivor.
Then I watched too much Walking Dead too. So
That part too.
Yeah, I don't know about Walking Dead. They made a lot of mistakes in that show. Like,
that man.
it was like they didn't want to survive. They was,
Actually, they made the dumbest most.
they was like,
legalest
what's the
mistake.
quickest way we could all die? I don't know. How about I go back and look for the person that just got bit and get in their face and be like, hey, are you okay? Like you just got bit 5 minutes ago, but you asking, you ain't seen the other 8,000 people turn into zombies after they got bit. But this particular person, all right.
Lee, can you read what Jasmine said? I can't.
Yep.
What Jasmine say?
I'm gonna go through some of these
Yeah,
comments.
let's go
actually.
through some of the comments.
We
Let's see
got
what.
comments coming. That was
Let's go, people.
Okay, so Jessica said that's why Gen X is the strongest generation, talking about the survival skills. No, not at all. They are too connected to the internet and they are too vocal. They don't have the essentials or survival techniques needed to
Yeah,
survive.
because I'm gonna give y'all my answer after this.
Kendra says, takes me back. You read the comment from your mom. She said, I give them 15 minutes upon hearing the news of mass panic.
Facts. That's what I'm like. I do not have faith in humanity like that.
Tissue and water during COVID. It was crazy.
This generation does not know how to use a compass, how to clean water, or hunt properly.
Facts.
They don't cook without tech,
Yep.
and they don't too argumentative to be taught.
Yep.
Say it one more time, Jazzy.
Once the grid goes, the youth might opt out.
Say
Yeah.
it one more time.
See, my answer, no, for real. Like, and look, I grew up on a farm. Like my grandfather taught me how to plant, all that, right? Everything. I'm realistic with this, right? And I talk about survival, meaning like me and everybody in my family, like making it out this year alive. Like I don't like y'all got high hopes. Is very, the chances is very small. Hot diseases when wintertime comes.
So that's
you know what I'm saying.
So we can survive. We can be in survival mode out here, but the reality is,
Come on.
when the diseases come out,
Yeah.
and we have nothing.
What you gonna
to
like
fight
so
those
survive?
diseases on,
You got a dude who got an AK-47 looking for food. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he got a band. Like, there's so many things because we're thinking survivor now. Because like what Nick said, you survive. Have we ever? And I haven't. Nobody in this room has went a whole year without a roof over their head. Nobody in this year has went a whole year without heat, water, gasoline, and a grocery store. Nobody here in this room has ever went a whole year where they had to plant their food for a whole year. That's what it's going to take. And nobody in this room has done that for, and I'm talking about consistently. Not like, yeah, I'm going to plant some stuff today and go to the grocery store. No, I'm talking about literally, you have to live and die on what you plant and hunt. Nobody in this room has did that for longer than a week at the most. And so I'm going to be realistic. I'm not like, oh yeah.
I have.
Say what?
I have.
So you hunted?
No, I've had to go without for longer than a week.
No, there's a different go without. I'm talking like
I went without heat for a
I'm
year.
talking. Yeah, but you still was able. Did you have any house you could go to?
No, I did not.
So
Not
did you?
at the time.
You had a car?
I did not.
So where was you at?
We was in and out of. I really don't want to talk about it.
Yeah,
But
me
it
neither.
was- It
But-
was sensitive.
But all right, so what I'm saying is like there's no shelters.
Yeah.
There's like there's not like no government fallbacks. There's nothing. There's not a power company you could call to get your lights back on. There's no grocery store.
Right.
Like it's just us out here. For one, this is one of the main reasons. We don't even know how. Most people today do not know how to work together properly
Nope.
in order to make that happen.
Don't.
We don't even know how to work together properly, and we have all of these amenities.
That's true.
So what makes us think that everything is going to be great when they take it all away? No, it's going to get way worse. Yeah. It's way worse, and it's 1,000 times worse than me getting my car repoed or anything. We're talking like straight survival, where ain't nothing coming back. Not next week, not next year, not 5 years from down the line. And it's just not you surviving. You got other people out there that's crazy and nuts. So yeah, so it's gonna be tough.
Survival mode is different. Like the way it clicks in people's heads. Like a lot of people lose it. Like you could look back on COVID, mental health.
People went
like,
crazy over tissue.
People went nuts. Period.
They went crazy over cleanser.
Feel me?
Alcohol.
All right,
So
we
let's
gotta move on.
Let's pick it up. Let's pick it up. Now, which generation do we think had the best dances and music?
That's just a
Oh, okay.
Most of our guests said the 70s, the 90s, and the 2000s. So what's your thoughts?
70s to 2000s.
70s had Soul Train.
You gotta pick one. You can't say 70s too. You cheating it.
All right.
We're gonna start with Lee. Let's start with Lee. Which generation you think had the best? And you gotta and I need you on this, Lee. We gotta have a 20-second buzzer, right? Everybody, you got 20 seconds to answer and give us a reason why. All right. So Lee, you first.
I'm actually going to say it was the 90s because I think that it was the most original time for music. We had a lot of great talent come out in the 90s, and I just feel like it was. I mean, this, you know, all those other generations before that were really good, but everybody sounded like everybody else.
Nick,
I'm definitely have to agree with him. The '90s, and I mean, it was just the style of music, the way it made you move. Me, you know what I'm saying, definitely being more of a hip hop, R&B, urban type of, you know, music lover. Definitely the '90s.
Steph.
Soul Train 70s, sorry.
So
I wanted to
that's
be
Soul
on-
Train. What is
I
that?
wanted to be on Soul Train.
Word.
I wanted so bad
That
to
shit
be
has
on
Soul Train in the '90s.
You want some of that Soul Train cocaine?
Working at the car watching. Come on, y'all, let's take it
Car
to
lot,
me.
yeah.
Oh, flashlight.
You go step into the mic, Dale.
It's definitely the 90s. I mean, that's where I was born and raised.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go with the 90s. You like everybody. We had prime generation music. Michael Jackson. We still had Prince, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Madonna. You know, we had hip hop was really in that mode. You feel me? Like we had all different types of versions of hip hop. You had pop music. You had dope rock
was
music.
moonwalking.
Like the 90s was like the
place to be.
pinnacle of music entertainment. Like period.
was the
You
golden
cannot-
era.
Yeah, it was the golden era. Straight up.
If you look
That
at
was
my
the Essence
playlist,
magazine.
there's not a single band on there that didn't come out after 2002.
That's what mine is.
Yeah. Like I'm not a fan of 2000 and after music.
Right.
Too much.
Not too much.
Not too much.
I like a
There's some good stuff, but
It's music.
There's some of them.
ain't no classics. Ain't no for real classics.
If I'm listening
Right,
to
I feel you on
more
that.
up-to-date music, it's coming from artists who came out in the
But
90s.
prior.
Yeah, but yeah,
I'll
my
bump some
answer is
Jodeci real
definitely the
quick.
90s. I used to want to be like Biz Marquis with the beatbox and everything, so I used to definitely think I was that chick back in the day. So
I heard you rapping in the bathroom earlier.
I did. I used to think I was a rapper. I used to think I was
Spitting
a
bars.
real twister. So yeah, I definitely.
And then before that, she was singing Michael.
Y'all don't know. Adrian got bars and she could sing.
Don't tell them people those lies.
Uh-oh.
What about
What about what?
what?
I might
Well,
just
we
say
heard you
some
earlier. You sounded great.
You forgot we heard you earlier.
bars.
She was in there like, it's the thuggest, ruggest boy. Lazy wishes in the house. We heard you.
They probably looking at us right now like, man, listen.
In flesh. What about you, Rags? What generation, boss?
The 70s.
I knew you were gonna say the 70s.
Hey, I felt the Afro scene and everything pop off for you one time. I heard the music.
I just saw the Soul Train sign lighten up.
A drop top Cadillac just rolled by.
You know, I mean, for me, I was the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s. I was a part of all three of those. I can't say one. Because in the 70s, they set the tone for a lot of those are still classics that they're playing today.
You're right.
Right, that's true.
They
That's
sampled a lot of music.
the minute.
A lot of
some
stuff they
songs,
use in
the
samples.
Temptations,
Yep.
Ooh.
the Shy Lights,
OJ's.
OJ's, you know,
Isaac Hayes.
Oh my gosh, Isaac
Like,
Hayes.
man, oh yeah, that was the 70s was killing. When you think the 7 was
Because
man,
you had all kinds of
Marley, you had Bob Marley,
Oh my
did.
yes.
Al Green.
Al Green, yeah,
Ooh,
definitely.
David Bowie.
Marvin Gaye. I was about to say.
Easy Hill and
You know, Elton John.
Smokey.
You know,
You had Smokey Robinson.
jeez, you had all those.
Rolling Stones, like Aretha Franklin, like
James Brown.
Stones.
yeah, James Brown was in his prime in the 70s.
Oh my God! Yes, he was.
Like-
I'm about to say, how could y'all not name James Brown talking about the 70s?
Girl.
So pretty
Curtis
much,
Mayfield, like,
Curtis Mayfield, Superfly.
Ooh.
oh man, you making a real strong case for the 70s, man. Like, he was making a strong case for the 70s. You know what?
You know what? Now that you think about it,
I mean, you still had the Jackson 5 was doing
the
their
Jackson
thing.
5s came out in the 70s.
And so you're talking about music and dancing.
Oh, wait.
I don't know, man.
Hey, New Edition came out in the
And you still had the disco in the 70s too, like
Still, I mean, you know.
man, the 70s. I don't know.
Studio 54 was bumping back in the
Yeah.
70s.
It might be, man. It's a tie.
See, in Hollywood, they had the Whiskey a Go-Go in Hollywood. That was like the equivalent of Studio 54 in Hollywood. Whiskey a Go-Go. That was major.
Whiskey a Go-Go was big back then, yeah.
Yeah, that's after that they had the other one, but Whiskey a Go-Go was the original. that was the place to be.
Y'all had the hole in the walls.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Don't
let's
know
move
nothing
on.
about it.
Let's move on to our next
the hole in
question.
the wall, that's what they used to call a club. That it was just like a building that you just.
If it was a
put
hole in the wall, I
shoebox
wanna go.
in And
Yeah, the hole in the walls was jumping back then. Like
sweaty.
the worst thing that would happen is somebody might get stabbed.
yeah.
But you can keep on partying after that.
Nope, nope, I'm cool.
You can't keep partying after the club gets shot
I'm
up.
cool. Nope.
Oh yeah.
That one
I
dude
saw
got
the Players
stabbed. They pulled him out.
I saw Players Club
Like I said,
before. Do something to make me feel better. I'm leaving.
He won't even get stabbed in the vital part. He'll just get stabbed in the side or something in the shoulder.
I don't wanna get stabbed, so I'm leaving.
House parties with them strobe lights going. And
Sure.
it was always, I used to look, and I was only a kid, and I used to know, like,
Free love.
after a certain time,
Yes.
she would let us come out because we loved to dance, and I used to be so excited, like,
Oh, we used to be in the basement. You said there was some basements.
That was
The basement parties.
The basement
man.
parties. So it used to be
Basement
musty down
parties.
there. Musty and sweaty.
yes.
Sometimes you used to smell everything down there.
Yes,
Like,
you
oh, I'm going outside to
Hey,
take
but
a
here's one thing
smoke
that we
break.
can't appreciate when it comes down to like the music of the, like the, I would say 70s and beyond. It did seem like it was a lot more. It was a lot more peaceful, and it was more about like it was more about love.
There
And
was no beefing.
yeah, like
No beefing at all. No beefing.
No beefing. Nobody had an issue with somebody.
This is right with what Raz was saying. So Raz just gave us like a list of great musicians. So we go.
Ooh,
Which
this is-
generation do y'all feel like had the best musicians?
the best overall music talent. Which generation gave us the best?
Because he just gave us a long list of great.
The 70s was-
70s.
Oof.
Through.
Right.
I'm gonna go with the 70s.
Who can follow that list?
I don't know. When did,
Nobody.
We had
Because
Wendy
guess what?
Luther and Barry
They
White and
set
all
the
them
tone
coming
for
to play.
everything else.
And then what's crazy is Elvis was still around in the 70s, wasn't he? Oh, he died. Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Stevie
Wonder.
was around, wasn't he?
All right, that's really all you had to say. You say Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles, the two blind dudes. That just that locks it up
Stop
right there.
Stop.
What you coming was blind too?
Who that?
Oh, and you had Al Jarreau.
It was one more I can't do.
Al Jarreau. You had
Al Jarreau. You don't know.
Shaka Khan,
Chaka Khan.
Tina Marie, Rick James.
Gladys Knight.
Nicky Howard was my girl.
Gladys
70s
Knight.
got it.
Tina Marie definitely came with Tina.
70s got it.
You
Rick
said Tina
James.
Marie, that's it, baby. That's
Black
it.
Sabbath. They had Black Sabbath. You know what I mean? Like the rock
Sly
music
and the
was
Family
cold.
Stone.
Black Sabbath, the
The
Stones,
Stones, Kiss. Like yeah.
Jimi Hendrix.
Motorhead.
Jimi
Motorhead.
The
Hendrix.
Platters, all that. The
Yeah.
Spinners.
Wayne.
Everybody had their names.
Leonard Skinner. Like man, yeah. Like
70s, had no?
the seven. And one Steely Dan. You feel me? Like
the
yo.
Manhattans.
Like I mean, the music that came out in the 70s. I ain't gonna lie.
Bill Withers.
Bill
Yeah,
Withers,
yeah, yeah.
Hall and Oates.
Ain't no sunshine.
Hey, I was listening to that song the other day.
Gone.
I don't even know why I was listening to that song. With every day.
Is this the DMX version or which version are we doing?
Sunshine when she's gone. You better know it.
Too long.
Anytime.
Where my dogs at?
Goes away.
Yo, you better get your ass home.
Hey, what movie is that where the record get broken?
Oh, that's our Fresh Prince with Will Smith.
I know. I'm gonna leave you young thing alone.
Hey, you know, Fresh Prince, shout out to the
I
Fresh
don't want
Prince.
people to hate
Fresh
me.
Prince
Look, y'all
actually
gonna
turned
make
a lot of
people
people
hate me.
on to music in that show. Like how they did
definitely
it.
did.
Shout out to the because what they did
Everything.
they did everything on that show. It was the one. And I'm telling you, I'm not going. When Will Smith was singing Uncle Phil. As a kid, that was the first time I got introduced to that song.
So Jennifer Holliday made it, not Jennifer Hudson. A lot of people think Jennifer Hudson
No,
made that song.
but Jennifer Hudson did that in Dreamgirls, man. She killed
She
that
did.
part. Oh my
Yeah.
God,
She
she
killed it.
smoked that
She
song.
did.
killed it, but don't mistake.
It's almost like she
Don't
made it
mistake.
hers.
No, don't mistake it. Because
Jennifer
Jennifer
Holliday.
Holliday had already.
Have y'all ever seen Dreamgirls, the play, the old school play? Jennifer Holliday, man,
She had already killed it. Jennifer
live. It wasn't on no movie screen.
I did
She
the
did that
musical
on
I
Stage.
guess
stage.
if your
Girls
name
at
Jennifer,
Caramel
you can
House
sing that
Theater.
song,
Man, I
huh?
swear, it must be something about it. But Jennifer Hudson.
She
Y'all
yeah.
think Jennifer Lopez go try it next?
No.
I mean, she already got to play what's her name, so I mean, she already got to play Selena. She good.
Yeah, Selena made her career. Shout out Selena.
And she did because I could watch that movie over and over.
I can't.
over
I cry.
again.
I only could watch that movie once, and I was like, on that part where Selena died.
He died.
Yo,
He just got, you just got caught up real quick.
real talk.
Hey, do y'all
No,
know-
no, but
do
for
y'all
real.
know
No,
her
no,
Killer
but for
Kiss out
real.
This year?
What's that?
They are planning to. I think it's next month.
Oh, that lady getting out of jail.
In August, and they planning a whole.
After
little
28
party over
years.
Let's man. I feel, well, her hopefully she wants. I know she wants to go back to the generation before she committed that because she is going to get
It
jacked
is so
up.
many people.
It is so many.
She is not gonna make it out that prison alive.
The Latino community wants that lady, and the black community. There's a lot of communities because Selena was everybody's homegirl.
There are so many people planning to go be at the prison when she gets
Oh my goodness, they gonna
She
jump that lady.
She gonna run back to the truck and cry again.
So many people's like she gonna go
They
back
want
to
kill me.
She's gonna be banging on the door. I killed Selena. Let me back in.
I deserve life sentence.
I wish I never did her.
Put me in the hole.
Well, you know what? You shoulda
Solitary,
did it.
like, yeah,
you
she
should have
go-
did it.
Man.
That hurt my heart, especially when a rain dropped out of her.
Oh yeah, let's not talk about that movie. I ain't trying to
Let's
cry
not talk
in-
about that movie.
in front of our audience.
Let's not talk about
That's the only
Salinas.
movie that will make me emotional.
talk about Salinas.
When we get into part, the second half of the show, we do got a question about which generation had the most heart-wrenching movies. So
Yeah, we're gonna talk about
Oh
that.
my
We're gonna talk that.
gosh. Oh my gosh.
So let me ask y'all this question, Kane. Now, which generation, and we're gonna read some of our audience responses. Which generational morality flaw affects the generations the most? One of our audience members says the notion that marriage isn't relevant anymore. Another member of our audience says the LGBTQ being the voice of what's right and wrong.
Oh, that's not right.
Now, the next is somebody said screaming Black Lives Matter, but it's mostly black people killing black people.
facts.
Men are called simps or insecure when they disapprove of a woman dressing and behaving provocative in public and twerking on stages and social media.
First, I thought Nick had wrote that comment.
I was like, but here's the thing, I know Nick ain't write that
I know he did because I saw who wrote
No,
it. but
you know
was
I
like-
didn't.
because he wrote a poem about it.
Don't come for me.
I saw who wrote it.
Don't come for me.
I saw who wrote it.
He gonna make a post about it. He wrote a whole poem about it.
I was like, Nick gonna love this.
Nah. So let's start with the first one,
I'm gonna
right?
speak the truth. That's why.
Let's start with the first
we
one.
ain't even
The
mad.
notion that marriage isn't relevant anymore. Do we think that this is a
Just killed the notion of marriage. This
You know
generation
what? You know what?
100%
No,
killed the
because
notion
people. I mean, like I remember even, because we the same age, obviously.
hope so.
Whenever we was in that, what I'm saying, teenagers and stuff.
Can y'all stop
coming up,
doing me and this
it was
LA
pretty.
people
No,
on
we
my
in the
age?
same age.
They-
Look,
so I'm just gonna keep
don't
doing
be
this.
embarrassed. You don't look your
Listen,
age.
speak
Now be
for-
quiet.
Listen, speak for
No.
yourself. We're not telling ages.
Anyway, so if I have to speak for myself and everybody else in my age bracket, but you acting like Lisa. You acting like Lisa. Are you only 30?
No.
Are you only 30?
No.
Okay.
Stop before
So,
she call you out online.
anyway.
Stop.
No, but I mean, we, what I'm saying, people always used to criticize men, for having feelings for a girl, what I'm saying, actually wanting
We're
to
talking
make
about
her
the
your
fir-
girl. It's like we always face that type of criticism. So jumping into marriage is almost like a lot of women now, they feel like, well, what I'm saying, he's soft. I really don't know. I'm backing away from him. You want somebody tougher. I don't know. It's like
is that, we
it's a
talking
lot of
about marriage or the
criticism.
last one? Because I'm
You just
confused now.
me.
Why?
You mixed them
Because
both.
What you're saying comes from the simp part.
Yeah, I'm talking about is the notion of
Talking about
marriage.
The notion of marriage.
I think
Yeah.
I get what he's saying.
I'm saying it's different things that cause people to feel like that. I'm just actually naming certain things.
Men are looked at as simps for wanting to be married and wanting to have those.
Back in the
type
day,
of
they used to try to
relationships.
discourage us. Think of our boys. Oh man, you too young for that, man. You supposed
it
to.
is.
You
Question:
There's
What
city girls
what
are
group?
real.
What now? I see what you're saying, but I think there's like a specific group of women that looks at dudes like that.
Called the city girls.
Yeah,
City
yeah.
girls.
You don't marry those.
No, that's serious.
You don't marry
No,
those.
no, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You don't wife them. You one night them.
And you know the difference.
You know what I mean? Like yeah. So if for anybody that's trying to wife a city girl, stop it.
Crazy thing for me is
It's not gonna happen.
is like I always wanted to get married because I felt like marriage is one of the biggest, strongest bonds
It
that you
is.
could potentially have.
It's a life. It's a life goal.
Right. And as I got older and as the world started changing, I saw the benefits to not.
And that's
Being married.
that's where because back in the day, when for one, does anybody on the panel know where marriage came from? It actually started from the Roman era, Catholic Church. Remember we talked about this on our last radio show, Deli.
Like large weddings.
No, I'm talking about the actual
Bond of marriage. It is a sacrament in the Catholic religion.
Yeah, that started in the Catholic religion.
It started before that.
Nah, bro.
Yeah, because even small villages had their different ways of connecting and showing
That was different. That was a whole different. I'm talking about the style of marriage that we know about today.
That's what I'm saying.
That came from, and it started like the 1400s, and it was for a way. It was an easy way for the census to keep track of the population because they knew how many people was in the household. It's easier that way.
Well, I know they did royal weddings back in the day because, for the most part, they wanted to keep royal blood royal, and by doing that, they decide who would marry who and betroth each other. That way, that they made sure that the royal stayed here.
Yeah, now that's
the peasants stayed.
upper echelon folks.
Yeah.
Now, when it came down to regular folk, it wasn't like that for real. You know what I'm saying? And then we don't like. Go ahead.
The institution of marriage comes from the Middle English, which was first seen in 1250 to 1300
I was
CE.
I was a couple hundred years later, but yeah, thank you. But yeah, like the concept of quote unquote marriage is an invention. You know what I'm saying? It's a cool invention, but it's not like from day one, planet Earth, like that was like the institution. You know what I'm saying? And I think like nowadays is where you got more people because back in the day, think about it like this: 30 years ago, for you to meet a mate, you had to go to a bar, club, mall. You had to be out. You had to be social, right? Nowadays, you got dating all over the internet. So you could break up today. You don't have to technically stay with somebody because you know you're going to meet somebody like in 15 minutes.
And that's exactly why marriages do not work because the internet has made people feel like they in a meat market. And
Ashley Madison.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes, Ashley Madison. And you see they actually made a documentary about her and put it out on.
well, actually, divorce rates has gone down.
No, Ashley Madison. You know what Ashley Madison is?
Yeah, it's the back page kind of thing, right?
Well, she created the website that allowed you to cheat in secrecy.
Actually, a man created that.
Yeah.
And he did.
But he called it Ashley Madison.
Ashley Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ashley Madison. Yeah, he.
It's like Victoria's Secret.
It's like a big,
Exactly,
So
literally.
actually, it's actually a website that allows you to cheat in secret.
See.
Well, those used to be called brothels.
Well, yeah, well, the internet created
Is it-
online brothels.
Yeah, but it's been like that. But it's easier now. It's easier. That's what I'm saying. It's easier now. But more people, and it's kind of crazy. Like the statistics, when you look at it, like the divorce rates has gone down. You got more parents in the house because, like in the '90s, that was when like the '80s and like '90s was like sky high divorce rate. Everybody and their mama was getting divorced, right? And then it kind of went down. So does this generation actually appreciate it more, or is less people getting married?
It's less people getting married.
Less what?
Yeah, don't confuse it.
Actually,
No,
I've seen a lot of people getting married.
No.
But isn't that actually respecting marriage? Because here's the thing. Nowadays, people are actually more responsible mentally to know, like, I don't want to get married. I'm not cut out for that lifestyle.
Yeah.
Before, a lot of people was like, they're going to try it and see if it works. And then if it don't, then they get that. Then that's how you get divorced.
But then you got a lot of people doing it for the title. Just because
that's
they
true.
want the
I,
title.
I was also going to say, too,
Yeah.
how many of them are green card marriages, too?
Yeah, that's true.
Most of them are green card marriages.
Most of what marriages today?
A lot of them
They
today.
still doing married people stuff, like creating life and trying to make it work, and then just giving up because it get hard. So
Yeah, I
they don't
think-
make it to marriage.
I
because
can't
they
tell you how
see
many of
some
my
people
friends-
just leave.
Yeah, but here's the thing: with the whole sanctity of marriage. Technically, you're not you're supposed to get married and then try to build the family. Like and a lot of people try to make things work like in our way, right? You know, which it goes with the gander. Like, you know, and you can't help how things happen. You know, some people have babies before they're married. Some people have babies after they're married, right?
Shotgun marriage.
Yeah, but and then some people decide to get married and have no kids. They want a dog. You feel me? It's really, and nowadays we have more options as individuals to like actually live your life as you want it to. Back in the day, you know, a lot of women were married off by their fathers. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, women, they weren't allowed to get jobs.
That still happens in some countries.
And it still happens, and it's still to this day in some countries. Women weren't allowed to get jobs. Women weren't allowed to vote. Women couldn't get as equal pay as men. So there were some instances where women had to get married just to live and survive. Because, you know, you're not going to stay with your parents your whole life. You're going to get out, and all right. So, and then back in the day, a 30-year-old dude will marry a 16-year-old. No problem. You know what I'm saying? And now that 16-year-old, yeah, she's going to get married. And now once you start having babies by that dude, by the time she's 20, she hasn't went to school.
Yep.
She don't have no type of skill. So yeah, she has to stay in that house.
Yep.
So if you want to know why your grandparents' marriage and stuff like that, those are some of the factors that made them last so long, because grandma, she wasn't able to get a job. She didn't even know how to fill out an application until a certain point. And then back in the day, they used to have 8, 9, 10 kids.
Yeah.
You know how hard it is to leave a family with 8, 9, 10 kids? Tough. Nowadays, if you got people some people they're not even having kids. It's easier to divorce at that point.
You had fathers that were doing that.
Well,
though, you know,
here's the thing,
you
'cause
actually
I come
did.
from a family where all of my elders were married, and even though there is truth to the fact of that, I applaud them because I grew up watching healthy marriages and watching my grandparents. My grandmother held my grandfather's hand as he took his last breath. They would have celebrated 56 years of marriage on the 27th had he still been alive. So yeah, I applaud marriages that stick it out, and regardless of what brought them together and what made them stay together, the fact is they stuck it out and they stayed together and they gave us something to look up forward to. And if I can go back and change it and make it still be well, we thought marriage to be more than just a signing a paper, I definitely would strive for it.
Facts. Now here's the thing: if you don't have a reason to leave, don't. But like, here's the thing.
Creating reasons
Yeah,
to leave.
they are, but like I look at it like this: like if they like, say for instance, if you're a woman and your husband is beating you every day,
That's a reason to leave.
that's a reason to leave. You know what I'm saying? If you're in a marriage, and your husband and your wife is always cheating on you, or she's beating on you, and because you can't hit her back, you might want to get out of that situation.
So let me ask you this. Is a woman that does not cook and clean and take care of the children's property, is that a reason to leave?
The
It
children part,
depends.
yes. The cooking and cleaning, no.
No, because here's the thing: you knew she couldn't cook and clean before you married her,
But what if she did?
What if she did? And she just stopped.
and she stopped. That's something y'all need to talk about. Y'all need to have a conversation on if it's important to you.
Something going on.
Yeah, it's like here's the thing, like Now that's one thing about marriage where people got to remember you have to communicate, right? And it don't work if one person is communicating and the other person's not. And then it don't work if if y'all communicating but you're not understanding.
Or one person is shutting down.
Yeah,
all the
or
time.
there's no comprehension because you could say something to me, I could say something to you. It's not us that we're talking and we're listening. The comprehension is the key. Because you can sit and listen to what I say all day, but if you don't comprehend what I was trying to say, it was a null conversation in the first
Don't
place.
answer.
I think-
Don't
I-
answer
I-
just to reply either.
Right.
I agree with the notion that married people shouldn't hang out with single friends because single
Yeah.
friends build an illusion of a lifestyle that eventually you're gonna wish you still had.
They gonna basically give you the advice of
It depends on how you look at it because I look
they
at my
gonna try to
single
pull you
friends
down
and I'm
with
like, I'm glad I ain't got that life.
Right.
Like, so it really, that's on the individual.
That's what I said.
I hang out with single
Illusion,
friends all the
like
time.
that.
It don't, you know what? Because I like going home to my wife at night. I like seeing my wife and kids. So I look at, I see single folks with a lot of problems. I don't look at it like, man, that's the life I want to live. They hang out with me because they trying to live the life I'm living. You feel me? They trying to understand what it's like to be a married man, what it's like to be a family man. You feel me? So that right there, like, look, I hang out with single folks because, look, for one, I'm happy and I trust me. So, you know what I mean? Like, I can hang out with you all day. And I'm not, like, for one, single people's lives, they're expensive. I ain't trying to spend, like, y'all spending money every week on a different female trying to impress her. Me, I got one woman I got to worry about.
I didn't even do that when I was single.
Feel me? So, hey, all right. So now, guess what? It's after our top of the hour, and it's time to pay some bills. So we're going to cut to a quick commercial break, and we're going to be back with more of the war, more of the battle of the generations, right here.
Stay tuned.
On the TMI Show on Red Line Radio, brought to you by American Life Insurance.
We'd like to take a minute here at Redline Radio LLC to thank all of our great sponsors. Detroit Auto Parts is the official parts store of Redline Radio and home of our original studio. With two convenient locations, one on the east side, you can call 216-531-7373, or on the west side, and that west side location is also the home of Redline Radio Studio number 1. You can call them at 216-398-7373. At either location, mention Redline Radio and get 10% off your purchase. Speaking of sponsors that sponsor stations, Growing Wings Adult Services is the official sponsor of the state-of-the-art Studio number 2. Growing Wings Adult Services has over 7 years experience taking care of adults with disabilities. For more information, contact Lisa today at 234-334-7547. And as testified by all their satisfied customers, Dynatech's diamond saw blades are the fastest cutting, longest lasting. Customer satisfaction is how we measure success at Dynatech, and our engineers are always available to help you troubleshoot and solve a problem on your job site. Dynatech is the only saw blade company recommended by the pavement marking manufacturing industry. They're located in Elyria, Ohio. Dynatech is committed to being the top diamond saw blade company around the world. You can contact Dynatech today at 1-800-466-9001, or you can visit their website at dynatech.com. NASCAR fans, if you're looking at getting specialized past or present NASCAR diecast and model car kits, you reach out to Pit Road Diecast. Bill Rabbits and the team are there for all your diecast needs. Call them today, 216-355-2347. Mention Redline Radio and get $5 off your in-store purchase. Let's not forget about the official merchandise provider of all things Redline Radio. That would be Incredible Keepsakes. T-shirts, cups, binders, keychains, you name it, Incredible Keepsakes can make it. The official merchandise provider for Redline Radio LLC and our show hosts. Call Mike and Diane today at 440-242-9648 or check out all their great merchandise at IncredibleKeepsakes.com. As Diane always says, cherished moments are made to last forever. Let's talk about home improvement. When we talk home improvement, we talk Wiggins Construction and Home Improvement. Bathrooms, kitchens, windows, doors, siding, radio stations, and so much more. Residential or commercial, call Will today, 440-731-7654, and tell him Redline Radio sent you. Bad Juju still remains the official band of Red Line Radio LLC, covering all your favorites from the 80s and 90s. To book Bad Juju today, contact Chad Moon at 440-458-0209. Lucy's Pub is where we go when we like to unwind after a busy day. Located at 2218 Broadview Road in Cleveland, Ohio, Michelle and the staff at Lucy's are always committed to giving their guests the best experience. Join them every Friday night for karaoke and, of course, all your hometown sports games. Call them today, 216-675-0013. Stock car racing fan, I am. The premier stock car racing series in Northeast Ohio, Michigan, and Indiana. Redline Radio is proud to sponsor the Ohio Wheelman Series. Still looking for sponsors for 2023? No better way to get your logo out there than on the fastest street stocks in the state. Not to mention, local racers are some of the most loyal people when it comes to supporting local sponsors. Reach out to Will Wiggins today about how you can be a part of the Ohio Wheelman Series. Driveway looking a little rough? Well, we know who to call. ACS, Affordable Concrete Solutions, LLC. Call them today at 440-714-1987 or go to their website, Affordable Concrete Solutions, LLC. You can also email them at affordableconcretesolutions@gmail.com. Looking to advertise with a radio station? Get a hold of Dave at Redline Radio at 440-503-0828. And for all of our programming information, check out redlineradiolllc.com. You know what else we got there? A 24-hour live radio station playing all kinds of music all day and all night. You can also check us out on social media at Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, LinkedIn. And if you want to take Redline Radio on the go with you, download the Redline Radio LLC app on the Google Play Store.
Hey man, what happened to you?
Look, let me tell you, I crashed my bike, my arms was dragged and mangled and was torn right off.
Holy smokes, what are you going to do now?
Well, luckily, I have the Get Hurt, Get Paid program from American Income Life.
Oh yeah, why is that?
Well, I was in a hospital for 5 days and they paid me for every day I was there. $600. I got a lump sum check for $3,000 for my lost wages and another check for the loss of my arm. $30,000.
Wow man, I've never heard of American Income Life.
That's because they're a union benefits company that's now available for everyone. They have income protection for lost wages, mortgage protection, a college education program that I got my son for $100,000, a life insurance plan that if I die in a Lyft, Uber, train, plane, or any other motor carrier, my family is protected financially for up to $300,000. If that's not including the term of a whole life insurance, plus so many other plans to financially secure your family's future. In fact, all my kids are guaranteed insurable for life, no matter what happens in their future. Whether they develop cancer, start smoking, get arrested, or become critically ill.
Wow, they have cancer protection too?
They got cancer protection, whether you get cancer or you don't get cancer. They pay you either way.
That's amazing. How do I get in on that?
Just call my boy GT at AIL at 330-441-2589 or Cindy at 330-416-8264.
For sure, bro. What was that number again?
That's GT at 330-441-2589 and Cindy at 330-416-8264. Make sure you leave a message because if they don't hear from you, then they can't help you.
That's right. I'm going to call right now.
And we are back. The battle rages on right here on the TMI show on Redline Radio. We just came out of a couple of really dope battles. I got some battle wounds. Deli got some battle wounds. Stephanie, she still got her war paint. Nick, he walking around with a head in his bag like King Woodbine and dead presidents. You know what I'm saying? Rags, he's screaming at the top of the hill with the bullet X around his chest. Yeah. Screaming.
Why you let everybody know about the head in the bag,
she jumped down from the tree, landed on Charlie's neck, and stabbed him. Like
Tarzan.
Yeah, it's serious. And Lee is still, he's in the tent, loading his guns and laughing because
he got the mud under his eyes.
Yeah, that's what.
He ready to go.
He getting ready. He's sharpening his knife in the tent.
I can see Lee doing that.
Yeah. All right. So
us.
bringing us back into the battle, into the war.
Bring us back
So
in.
now we were touching on which generational morality flaws affect generations the most. Now, our next answer from our audience that we're going to talk about is the LGBTQ being the voice of right and wrong. What does that mean?
Oh man.
What flaws that?
I'm sorry, I got what?
Basically,
what
what they say.
Okay. Let's get the whole question out.
I'm just. They have the right and wrong. What? That doesn't even make sense to me.
So the LGBT community has incorporated, well, I won't say they have, because I think politicians are using the movement of the LGBT community to enforce what their visions on things. So I'm not going to even say it's their community per se. I'm going to say it's the politicians
their votes.
that's using that movement.
It's not even our votes.
No, it's not even their
the
votes, because
platform.
if you actually talk,
They're using the community as a
yeah,
scapegoat.
the politicians are using that community to do the dirty work for them.
Right.
And so the cancel culture and all that, all the things that have arisen because of that movement. I don't say there. Now there are people within the community, just like there are people within every community that do have their own agendas. But I do mostly think that it's the politicians that push that narrative and that division on us. The fact that the right and wrong and even going back to the beginning where they said the two genders and all that, I do think it's almost ridiculous at this point that they are uprooting everything we've known in society. I have a bonus hole now. Like, what is that?
Yeah, that was
what?
that was a report.
A what?
A bonus hole.
Whoa.
What's a bonus hole?
The vagina.
We're not allowed to say that word no more. That
Oh yeah,
word
because
is
that's going to
removed.
offend. And that's what I'm saying. Like,
Wait a minute, though.
because when it comes down to
Yeah.
it, like say for instance, for example, like we have women,
Good
we have women, like we have dudes that you know when they change into women, you got and then you
Called
got
transgender.
transgenders, right? Now, we hear stories all the time about the dudes when they change to the women, they go to play women's sports, right? How come we never heard of a woman that changed it to a man to go try out for the NBA? We ain't never heard them trying to go box Mike Tyson or nothing.
Because that's not so. A lot of times, and not to take anything away from a man that's growing into the womanhood that he feels he was born to be, but a lot of times women who are transitioning are transitioning because that's truly what they feel they are, and they have no ulterior motive.
I ain't talking about the
But that-
transition, yeah,
But I know what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, so when they
Nothing
become,
else behind it.
so when they become that male that they feel they was born to be, that's it for them. They didn't do it to
They
become a
didn't come up with no
they
Right.
didn't do it to become a famous basketball player. They didn't do it to go to the Olympics.
but
And
but that's what I mean though. So you got the dudes when they
because those people have ulterior motives. They're not transitioning because they want to be women. They're transitioning because being a woman at that time helps them get to their goal.
do you think do you think they're discriminated against when they're not like I don't think they should be allowed to like to
So
go
let's look at the guy the transgender who participated in swimming 3 years in a row as a man and placed in 98th and up as a man, and then became transitioned into a woman and
dominating.
and took first place.
The dude is like the Wilt Chamberlain of swimming.
And-
He's just
and
putting up
actually-
numbers.
And actually won a scholarship behind that. Like,
Yeah, I don't think that's right.
Prove a point. Sometimes it's just to prove a point. Sometimes it's just
What point is that though?
that's a good question.
it's like like how you said when you said with the swimming or whatever, he wasn't scoring pretty much when as a man, right? How was it?
Yeah, so he
Okay,
was a
but once
man,
he
but then
transitioned
changed to a woman, and now he's
he
in women's
started
sports, just
scoring.
dominating.
It was a point he was trying to make. What point? I don't know. I'm not in his head. But it was a point that he was trying to make. Like, okay, y'all wasn't seeing me here, but now y'all see me.
And he got the
That's-
scholarship
that's-
there.
Right.
Yeah, that's like steroids. Like y'all wasn't seeing me
It
before
is.
I started using steroids. Now I'm using them. I'm knocking these joints out the park.
Think about it, it really is like steroids. It's
Yeah.
kind of like how people
You got
had the steroids
more
era.
testosterone than these other.
So
I mean, it's
to
a
that
sad way to do it, but
right, and to that point, I think a lot of LGBTQ ulterior motives are being put into politics. Like we had that mass shooting where the person was transgender, and the government was kind of just like, "Oh, he's transgender. We can't do shit about it."
Right.
Yeah.
And then now it's almost wrong to be straight.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. It's almost like you are
Condemned because
condemned.
you, yeah.
Yeah, even in school, like my child, he was condemned before seeing that he was straight. He was told by a little boy that the little
People
boy
get
had a
offended
crush
by
on
you
him.
saying that,
And this
which is
was when
crazy.
he was in like 4th grade. Like, is this even a conversation in that grade level? And then why is my 4th grade child being told that he's wrong?
Right. And think about it, even it goes into Hollywood. If you're an actor and you're a straight actor and they want you to play a gay role and you're like, nah, you're gonna be looked at as the bad
I
guy.
would say go back to the movie, the show, The Shy.
They're gonna be like, oh, you're
A lot
anti.
of
You're,
people don't even know that
can't
the
do
reason
that.
why the brother was killed off in The Shy is because they wanted him to be in a relationship with a transgender woman.
He wasn't with that.
He wasn't with it, so they killed him off and brought in the other brother, who they had told us was previously dead, and they
gave him that
They
role.
gave him that role because it was a role he was willing
and
to
just
play.
imagine this, right? You're an actor, and you say, for instance, you've been on the show for like 3 years. You don't notice it's coming up in season 4, right? Season 3 is over with. Your character just was finished being some gangster and all that. You feeling
And
really
that's
good
exactly
about
what
your
it was.
yeah. You feeling really good about your role. And they're like, the producers, and this is how it happens. They come down because you ain't got your paycheck yet for the next season. You know what I'm saying? They come down to you like, yeah, so we have some really awesome new changes for your character coming up. You're like, all right, what's
They
up?
got some brand new writers. They got a brand new vision for
A vision
the
for
show.
your character. So here's the thing. Tyrell, right, is going to fall in love.
Give it to me straight, dog.
Watch this, right? Because this is gonna change the lives of so many of our viewers. Tyrell's gonna
Like,
fall.
picture it.
Picture it. He's gonna fall in love with his bodyguard Mike.
Nope.
And you sitting there, and as an actor, you got to think about it like this, right?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
You actually
suck.
You gotta think like, okay, you don't know when the next acting gig is coming, right? Say for instance, you making like $100,000 a year with this role. You have a lifestyle that you have built and maintained. You got a house, you got a family, and now they're like, yeah, and so you're like, nah, that's not for me. Yeah, but we've already written the script. The whole season is done. You know, you're like, yeah, you know what's gonna? They're literally going to fire you.
No, that's not true.
You don't think so?
No, that's not how that goes down, man. That's not.
It is today.
No, it is today.
No,
I want to hear it because he's been out there. He's been in Hollywood. I want to hear it.
Let me explain. You just because you have this masculine, you have all these actors that are macho. These are real men. These are men. So you talking about trying to introduce someone that we have this vision of into falling in love with somebody. First off, that doesn't even sound real to me.
Well, in the script, I'm talking about in the show.
In reality, because the script is what you're portraying on camera, and that's what you want people to believe. So when you write the script, you're writing the script for the whole purpose of, we want, like you said, we want them to see that you've changed the whole trip. No. I think if you're going to do that, no, I'll put it another way. You're making $100,000 a year, and you have made this character what it is. And so I don't think that's going to come up because you are a franchise.
No, but that's a real life example.
No, we gave a real life example.
That was an example that really happened.
Really happened on the
that
show.
I wasn't making that up. That literally, yes. I just changed the names around. Yeah, but this is something that really happened.
So this really happened on the show where an
Yes,
actor
this
said,
happened on
he just
show.
made a pivot.
He played Reg on the show The Chi. He was this big time gangster. He had this big persona of being this. Nothing stops me.
I don't care about the name of the show, but now I want to hear this. I want to hear this.
Yeah, but so no, I'm saying his name was Reg on the show. Like he was this persona of this gangster. He was killing people for looking at him wrong, and they took him and told him, well, next season we bring you back gay. Wow. And he said no, and so
they fired him,
killed him off the show.
Yeah,
and brought in a brother to play his. Now we killed you, so now we introduced your brother that we had already told everybody since season 1 was dead.
So now
but now he not dead. He came back to avenge your death with his transgender girl.
Because in Hollywood they look at it like if one actor won't, another one will, right?
Well,
so you're expendable. Like
we all in this industry, whether it be in front of the camera or behind the camera, we are expendable.
That's true.
So it don't matter.
But you shouldn't be expendable over that though.
No, you shouldn't be.
Did you see the story that Hornswoggle just put out about?
My man Hornswoggle, shout out from wrestling. Yeah.
He's like a legit actor now. Like he left wrestling and he's a legit actor and he's a little person actor. And he got word that Disney's making a live action Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and they're not casting little people to play the dwarves. And he's just like, how is that fair when there's so many of us out there that could play these roles?
Right. Like why wouldn't they cast dwarves to play dwarves? That's kind of like, and so it isn't like back in the day when we didn't know that many dwarves and we had and a lot of dwarves wasn't mainstream, and so you had to hire smaller people and put them in a position. But there are so many out there now, and there's so many famous ones that there's absolutely positively no reason.
Yeah, but
the craziest part is that Peter Dinklage, one of the most famous dwarves of this era, little people of this era, he's just like, shut up and take it. He's like, if Hollywood doesn't want to cast you, then they're not going to cast you.
But why? Shut up and take it.
Right. And it goes down to like this whole like the voice. What's right? What's wrong? We're looking at discrimination, LGBT. Because here's the thing, and now in those situations, right, where we have like they can do that and just say, okay, well we're gonna get like was it tall people or they're gonna CGI the height or how is that? They're gonna CGI the height. That's weird.
They're going to manipulate camera angles, but then they're also going to go in post-production and make the people that are playing the Seven Dwarfs shorter than whoever they're going to have to cast.
All that and spend all that money on.
Okay, but this goes to my point though. Like even in Hollywood, when you got these pictures and writers, like, and this goes for the LGBT community. There are a lot of actors that's in the LGBT community. Why like for them per se roles? Can't they just cast somebody that's in that community? You feel me? Like
Empire cast
stunt booty.
Jesse Smollett, and Jesse Smollett is a part of that community.
Yeah.
So it was very comfortable for him to play that role.
Yeah.
Because he comes from.
And there's a lot of great actors that's a
you-
part of that
you-
community.
and it's really hard for actors who are not a part of that community who are playing those roles. Like 56 Power Book 2. The one who plays Drew has a wife in real life, but like not only does he get criticized, she gets criticized. The guy who plays the rapper in P Valley, he had both the guy who plays the rapper and the guy who plays Uncle Clifford are both part of the heterosexual community, but they are typecast now because when you look at them, that's all you see. Like you can't see them as straight males anymore. And it's just like
Well, they took those roles. They knew what they were getting into.
I was just about to say.
That's a part of they took those roles. They knew what they
Accept
what.
that contract.
Yeah.
Uncle Clifford
Now, if they spring it on you like one,
I
like
just
because
think he
yeah,
is.
he's bi.
yeah, because here's the thing: if they spring it up on you, like if your character was never portrayed like this, and you're locked in on the show, and then they switch your character up, you know, like as an actor, you're like, yo, I don't. Yeah, that's like
But it's like you said,
that's putting you.
it's enough actors
that's all
out
I'm
here
saying.
that are
Yeah,
in the
but you putting
community.
yourself, but now you put that actor in a position to where it's like they have to feel like they're like they're either technically going to be forced to, or they gotta, or because if you have producers, they rent the whole season, they got money invested in the storyline. You know what I mean? One particular character can mess up all of that work because they don't want to do this particular role. Like I have two things like that as an actor, there's nothing against the community, but there's two things as an actor that I can never be. I can never play a slave in a film. I told my managers I'll never play a slave and I'll never play a homosexual male. Those are two things I can never do because like for real, for one, I understand like there are actors out there that's like me wanting to like there's Puerto Rican actors out there, right? Don't cast me as a Puerto Rican when there's other Puerto Ricans out there. You feel there's no need for me. You know what I'm saying?
It goes back to what he was saying about the dwarf.
Yeah.
Don't cast me as a dwarf when you're a dwarf.
There's like, and so for the LGBT community and things of that nature, like I just think like nowadays is where if you're, it's basically like if you say that you're straight, if you say that if you're just not like that's not like my particular thing, you know what I'm saying? Whatever is you're criticized for it. You feel me? You can't be straight anymore. You gotta, and then there's so much of that bisexual nature stuff going around. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I can see how two ladies could be attracted to each other. I don't get it with dudes, but hey, that's just not for me to decide. But the whole thing,
I'm a lesbian. I like ladies too.
But look. Yeah. But it's where that's a conversation that that is technically kind of like not had but had.
Yeah, the other part of that is that the reason, one of the things that they're talking about the actors and the writers' strike in Hollywood is AI.
Oh wait! Don't go! Don't.
We got something coming out. I knew you was going there.
Don't go there! Don't go there! Yet.
Don't do that!
We
Don't
getting
do
there.
that! Don't do
We getting
that!
there.
Hold that
Speaking of movements that you can jump aboard, but you can't always agree with. The next comment was screaming Black Lives Matter, but it's mostly black people killing black people.
Because here's to that. Black Lives Matter. We have a lot of things to stop the violence movements in our communities for that. Black Lives Matter was literally a movement because we were getting murdered by the police. So it's too, you can't, like, Black Lives Matter is like, yeah, our department is like, you got to think of the black community. We got departments. The Black Lives Matter supposed to be over the police brutality department. You know what I'm saying? Now, because the object is saying like, okay, when a gangbanger shoots another gangbanger, kills somebody, where's Black Lives Matter then? Well, more than likely, that once that black gangbanger gets caught, he's going to jail. He doesn't have the police force to back him up. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have the judge on the side of things of that nature. He's more than likely another black male that got caught up in the system that's probably going to be going to that is a victim that in some cases could be a victim of the quote unquote system, right? The Black Lives Matter is there because you got police officers in places of authority and that were not being held accountable. We're going to go to jail. Like, if you commit a crime in the black community, they catch you, you're going to jail. If you're a police officer and you commit a crime, they're trying to figure out a way to keep you out of jail. So Black Lives Matter is there to speak up for the voices that's dealing with police brutality.
I gotta go against it because your definition of it is the same definition that they're using out here in the streets, and I hate it because you cannot expect that police officer whose job is to protect and serve and to do those things that he does. You cannot expect him to find worth in your life life if you don't find worth in your life. So if I'm looking at Nick and I don't say Nick's life matters to me because I'm not a police officer, I'm just a regular black person, I can't expect that police officer to find worth in Nick's life too.
Why are you pointing at me?
Well, that's why they say Black Lives Matter.
I didn't even do it. I meant to point at
Because they're saying Black Lives Matter too. T-O-O.
But like, for Black lives to matter to everybody else, they have to matter to us because we are taking each other out in far more numbers than the police are. Yes, we see it, and we see that the police are doing it, and yes, we see that the police are getting away with it. But guess what? So is Pookie and them down the street too, because they cousins is lying and hiding and protecting them. And Pookie then committed 4-5 murders, and they still got free Pookie shirt, and then they jumping on the internet. And if you say Pookie name on the internet, you got 5 people threatening to jump you and kill you because Pookie can't go to jail because Pookie is Bebe cousin and Bebe gonna protect Pookie. Yeah, it's like that in the black community in real life.
Yeah.
And no, we can't.
I made a post about that. How would you feel if your kid got killed and you see somebody wearing free like the killer's t-shirt, free Pookie shirt, and you know Pookie killed your baby, but then you know what's crazy? You can't even, and you say for instance, if you know for a fact Pookie killed your baby, guess what? If you go tell the police Pookie killed my baby,
you a snitch.
Which is crazy.
You a snitch.
We're not, like the black people. We're not allowed to call
black
the police.
People are mentally disturbed when it comes to that part of life.
Right.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. You know why? We're in a lose-lose situation. We done dealt with so many things from the police, and then when we also, it's just like this. You got a household that's fighting each other, right? And then you got these cops that's outside the house that's waiting for us to come out the house. You feel me? To fight us too. So yeah, they're not going to get a chance to catch a body on us until we come outside the house or if they got to bust in. And most of the time we're dealing with each other. That's how it is in all communities. You go to the Chinese community, you'll see Chinese on Chinese violence. You go to a Puerto Rican community, see Puerto Rican, because that's how it usually happens in proximity. The difference is that where we black people, we are the ones who are, the light is shined on us like, we're the propagators of our own people violence. Because when a white dude kills a white dude, they don't say white on white violence. They just say a dude kills a dude. But when a black person kills a black person, they make it look extra bad.
Specify, no, and they'll
specify. You feel me? And so it's propaganda on both sides. You got propaganda Black Lives Matter. You got propaganda how we treat each other.
So here's the thing with that. It wouldn't be so easy for them to do that if we wasn't giving them the everything. If I'm not killing you, then they can't put that propaganda out there about me. If black people not killing black people, then we don't see news articles about a black man killing a black girl. I got to actually commit the crime for them to put the news article out there.
And then the reasons, you know what I'm saying, the reasons are so...
ridiculous?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a good word. I mean,
but people been killing. People kill each other for ridiculous reasons.
Over dramatic.
I mean,
jealousy. Like I said, jealousy is one of them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Then, like, you know, you get people who say, like, you know, free this person, free that person. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you knew whomever it is you saying free, you know what I'm saying? You knew that was a bad person before they even went in. You know what I'm saying? You knew what they were about then.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
And then you got everybody's literally done it. When John Gotti was up for court, he was Teflon Don. The Italian community loved that man. He was a hero, but everybody knew he committed crimes.
That guy,
that's what I'm saying.
Not the guy who, not Lacey Peterson's husband, the other guy who killed his wife and children. They got the movie out about it, and all the women were like.
I think that was Scott Peterson. That was another Scott. It was 2 Scott Petersons.
No, this one's a different one. This one just happened not too long ago.
Oh, you're talking about the guy that like killed his wife
and kids and
then buried his kids in the oil rigs.
That guy.
And he got fans like women.
He got serious fans. Like his commissary stays stacked.
Women want to marry that guy.
Man, they are like they just started a movement to get him out of prison and everything. Like the drug dealer who they had captured. That he had all the people standing outside and like he put out the thing like whoever can get him free like he was
El Chapo.
Yeah, like that's.
I was out there trying to. No. I was like free El Chapo.
Hey, I wanted to see if he was gonna be successful. I ain't gonna even lie. Like who gonna get that $1 million? Cause that's some.
No, but like and that's and it goes like and it's a theory.
You're talking about Christopher Watts.
Yes.
Yeah, Christopher Watts. That's
Christopher
the name.
Watts,
That's the name. And so, like, when it comes down, and the thing is, like, with our own community, we've had, and and we so wishy-washy with what we think is right or wrong, right? In one hand, our black community, we're against gangbanging because it's killing each other. But then in another hand, our community, we're like Nipsey Hussle, and we're like Snoop Dogg, and the people that literally push out gangbanging. You know what I'm saying? like, and it's not like because
I keep coming for Nipsey and Snoop Dogg.
you see what but here, we'll make exceptions when it no. What I'm saying is we will make an exceptions to the rules when we when it's a notoriety that comes with it. Pookie in the hood. The reason why they're saying Pookie in the hood, free Pookie, because he got that hood fame that come with it. They're not gonna say free the if it was Charlie at the gas station, the one that's smoking crack and dancing. They're not screaming free him. You know what I'm saying? They're not doing it. They're not going like I haven't like that.
Saying, oh, they got Uncle Charlie who gonna be outside collecting money at the gas station. Now I done seen.
You'll see a couple for Uncle Charlie. But what I'm saying is, it's like in our community we give notoriety. We want to give notoriety to the right things and to the wrong things at the same time, because it's like half of our community is for the twerking and city girls, and then half of our community is not. We have to decide as a community, like basically, like, all right, is gangbanging wrong? Is it? Yes or no? You don't think?
I don't think it is to a certain. I think it's levels.
I think the violence that
the
comes
way
with
it is, like the violence part, yes, but and now
it's gonna come with
the
it.
gangs now. No, it's a difference between like back then and
what's the back then?
The Black Panther
Like
around
90s?
my time.
The Black Panther
like
Party.
The 90s?
Around my time, it's
2000s?
a big difference between the way they did it and the way they do it now.
And it's crazy because the generation before us say it's a difference between, like back then, the generation before that was like, man, these kids is crazy, and they ain't doing it to how they generate. It's literally, we do that to every generation prior.
Children and elders were protected back in the day.
Now
You
it's
never would
Were
have
they?
heard of it.
Because back in 1992, it was a group of gangbangers. They went to jail literally because they broke into an old lady's house and shot her niece and her son. So what back in the day are we talking?
And then
was
you
in
talk about
violation of
that's like
60s.
black mafia family type of.
No, that was some bloods that ran into an old lady's house at Hampton and Compton, California.
Alright.
And it was
Because we want to give love and life an opportunity, we still want to get to Uncle Rag's point that he was bringing up. So we're gonna go on to the next and final point, which was what is the biggest addition this generation has added to the world? And one of those answers was definitely artificial intelligence. So since Uncle Rags has some stuff to say on that, go ahead and lead us, young brother.
Allen Iverson.
That's when people start talking about AI. That's what I thought.
That's what I thought.
I ain't gonna even lie.
I don't see Allen Iverson nowhere in these pictures.
What are you talking about?
Well, specifically in the entertainment industry, because I'm a part of it. One of the things that we have to, that the actors are fighting, opposing, is that you can sign a contract with Netflix to take your image
It looked like you.
for one time. You sign with them to make a movie. You sign with them to do a production with them one time, and from that, and after that, they pay you for that one time, and then they can continue to use your image
Over
and over again. That's what they're arguing for, and I got that. Not only does it put actors out of work, it puts all of us out of work.
Because
Because you don't have
the
to-
costumes.
Once everything is generated, you can do anything you want with costumes. You can do anything you want with makeup, and you can take that actor and put them in take their image and put it in any kind of situation without even having to worry about the ramifications of whether they get sick or ill or anything.
You don't have to worry about them going to jail. No drug overdoses, stunt devils.
And this will go on long, and this will go long after they're gone. See, that's the whole thing.
And you can keep an actor young, like they'll never age at that point. You know, Al Pacino could be 25 forever.
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman. Don't even know if he's getting old or young. That man he's been 38, 75 for 40 years.
That man in 40 years. It's just been.
That's like Victor Newman. Victor Newman.
So you
Victor
take
Newman
away-
is still alive and kicking.
So everybody's making money but the actors now. That's the idea. That's the opposition.
crazy.
And
So
I agree.
But it used to be the same way with rappers. until they start negotiating them contracts and really reading them contracts and really going over.
Now they're trying to. They doing AI for rappers' voices
They
now,
are doing
which is
AI.
crazy.
Yeah,
So here's
now you gotta look out for them
some of the
contracts.
dangers in AI. The woman who almost lost $50,000 because they used the AI to intimidate her daughter's voice and she thought her daughter had been kidnapped. Wow. And yeah. So those type of things, those are real things that's going to exist. So now you're stuck in a thing where it's like you don't know if your child really kidnapped or you don't know if it's an AI.
You don't know, like you could be a suspect.
Yeah, you can be a suspect in a murder and that you didn't commit because
of
the
AI.
AI committed. And then what people did, and I hate the word because they jump on trends so many times. Everybody, that AI app that just popped up out of nowhere and everybody ran to it. Oh, I want to see what my AI is gonna look like, and then they did the whole
Just
thing.
change clothes.
And you gave
I didn't even-
and you
and I didn't
gave
even
that
do that.
app permission to use your face for the
Yeah.
for the.
In perpetuity.
What you don't even realize was. You
Dang, I
just
got the
signed
app
your
on my
permission.
phone, though.
Right.
That permission that they've been waiting for to get from the world to use your face and your likeness.
Because you wanted to see
everybody-
yourself
Other
what it would
stuff.
look like as you a pirate.
Everybody who ran to
Well,
that
not just
app
that,
gave their
they
permission.
showing you what your babies look like.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
don't even need you to make
But
your
see,
baby
they
know.
keep trying to charge me, so I ain't gonna use it.
What?
Don't use it because
They are wildin'.
You're giving them permission
I know that.
to use your face and your likeness.
I read
You
all that.
just
I read
signed off
See,
on
that's-
everything.
all right.
So now they
That's scary.
The creative way they did it
Nope,
to
I'm
get
good.
your Johnny Hancock. But we're gonna create this cute app and we're gonna start off by showing y'all what y'all babies look like.
Because I thought Adrian was cussing me out last week, but it was AI. She called me on the phone. I'm thinking it's Adrian on the phone, and she like, you receding hairline having mother. Did you eat my Doritos? And I was like, what? Adrian, this don't sound like you. And they was like, no, this is Adrian. You ate my Doritos. You bald-headed Uncle Phil looking mother.
Wow.
See, now we.
And I was like, this don't sound like the Adrian I know. And it turns out,
She don't say that.
Exactly.
it turned out it was AI.
Exactly.
It was
Now
AI.
y'all know
It was AI.
I ain't about to do nothing.
Robot.
I didn't sound like you at all, Adrian. That
If
was,
anything, Adrian gonna just get quiet and hang
Stab
up the phone
somebody.
on you.
Like you ate my Doritos? No. All
Right.
All right.
Yeah, exactly.
that's the Adrian I know. Oh, we're on the phone for 10 minutes arguing? Nope, this is AI. You're not fooling me.
Adrian's gonna be the one. He gonna be like, "Hello, hello." She done hung up on.
No, that's AI.
And then you gonna call back and it's gonna be like the person you are trying to reach.
I just think it's funny that in the 80s, people were trying to warn everybody about the dangers of artificial intelligence.
Right.
Terminator, Will
Right.
Smith,
iRobot, right?
iRobot, like,
Yeah, they in those movies and people took those movies for jokes and those.
The
movies-
Matrix.
Yeah,
Definitely
the
The
Matrix.
Matrix.
The Matrix definitely.
or that one movie where the dude had the glasses on and he would look and see all the people, like, and
Sure, I remember that one. Too.
Oh, They Live.
yeah, they live. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was
Yeah.
Roddy Piper, sir.
Roddy Piper.
Yeah, Roddy Piper. Yeah.
They live.
They've been they tell us stuff in movies all the
They
time.
told us stuff in movies. They even told us about COVID in movies. We just
Yep.
Yeah, we just
Yeah, because either
They
they
call them the plague.
either it comes from something or they're putting the idea out there. You know what I'm saying? Either the idea has came from something or the idea they're putting an idea for it to happen. You know what I'm saying?
No, it normally happens where a scientist is working in a lab.
And they're like, you know what? This will be a dope script.
And he sells some top secrets,
Yep.
and somebody builds a movie off of it.
Yep.
But why did they building a movie off of it? It's really somewhere being worked on in their lab.
Who the hell gonna come up with the Matrix if it ain't a real Matrix? You know what I'm saying? Like,
had to come up with
and
how many-
it
what,
be
four?
for it.
yeah, but it was only the first one that was good. The
It
other
was-
two, don't worry about
even
that.
the first one, it was so intense and
Right.
so it made you think so deep and so hard. Like
think I had to
you
look at it
gotta
one time.
really wonder, like
Man, you know how
this
many
is
times
God.
I sat there
Like,
looking
what is
at
they
the
trying to
spoon
tell
trying
us?
bend them?
We've had many movies like that.
that's what you be doing.
Man, come on, you
I was
know
a
you
very
know you
impressionable
did.
child.
You know you tried to be in that
my
role.
man.
trying to
One
bend that
time,
spoon
just
in my
look.
mind.
You know
Just
you
remember,
imagine that it been.
it's not the spoon that bends.
It's not the see. That's the thing. It's not the spoon that bends, bro.
My spoon did.
it's your mind.
It's your mind, bro.
Yeah, just
But
See, the thing is, I actually I can levitate things with my mind.
Can you?
I'm high as hell right now.
Wow.
That's
That's levitation.
hell no, no.
my point to that is,
That's levitation.
it's like, everybody that's, because we're all around the same age in this room. We all sit there and we see the dangers of what AI could potentially do. Like you said, the woman that almost got scammed out of $50,000. Think about this too. You get those weird phone calls from a number and like, "Can you hear me?" And if you say yes, They then recorded your
They got your voice.
I never say yes anymore.
Hello.
Exactly.
I don't say nothing.
You can't say don't say nothing. Because if you say anything, they got the vocal tone, and now
And
they
don't
got.
call it back. They got them now where they call and they hang up and you call it back because when you call back, you're gonna automatically want to speak like, hello, who called me? Now I'm not. You call, you hung up. Guess what? We weren't meant to talk.
They got one, they don't say nothing for a while. Then all of a sudden you hear hello. Then it's something about
Be like,
police or
hello.
something like that. Something
Yeah,
like
because
that.
if you on there, ain't
And then
nothing
I
there. You
hang
like
up.
hello,
Like,
hello,
don't
who is
call
this?
me if you
Hello,
ain't
they're
gonna say
like,
nothing.
oh yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, like Lee said, they are recording our voices. And like be careful, like even where you move, like pay attention to your phone when you get in the car. Your phone gonna tell you where you about to go.
And pay attention to like your hotspot, like your Wi-Fi, because I was reading a story where he's a hacker, and basically, like say for instance, you're at an airport bus stop and you're looking for the Wi-Fi, right? All the Wi-Fi signals come up.
VPN.
The VPN. He's like, there's these chips plug into your computer. You sitting around, it comes up like like a VPN. If you click on one of those waves, like you're trying to get into that network for the Wi-Fi, he got all your information, just like that.
That's why you should always have a VPN on your computer.
Man, y'all better get them VPNs.
You better
They
do
work
it.
I'm telling y'all, they working.
So look, we talked about life. Let's talk about some love, Adrian.
You already did the introduction.
That wasn't on intro. I wasn't about to.
The intro about to come in as a video.
If it plays as a video, because it's not coming through.
Oh, Deli done sent the porn in.
I mean, you sent it as a movie file, but I don't know if our computer can play movies.
Oh man.
You really sent in the porn, Deli?
I think I might.
Oh, it worked.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. Oh, yeah. That's the way.
Is that a church suit?
There we go.
Deacon Deli.
Right. So, today's love and life topic. What do you think is harder, or who do you think is harder for to give compliments without it being misinterpreted as flirting? Men or women?
It's harder for men to give compliments for it to be not as actually women, because
I'm
if
gonna start with you.
you gonna start with me, I would say it's just like this. For men, it's harder. It's 2 seconds. Men, it's harder for them to give women compliments because a woman's gonna think she's trying to holler per se. And when a man gives a compliment to a woman, it's like, oh, he's trying to get some. You know what I'm saying? Like in that essence. And if we get a compliment for a woman, it's like she must want something that's not me, like money. You know what I'm saying? Like or something like, what do you want? Like when we compliment a woman, she's like, oh, you want some booty? You know what I'm saying? She ain't thinking financial. She thinking we want to take her home and all that stuff. If a woman compliments us, it's like, oh, what you trying to get your lunch paid? What you need some gas money? Like what? Like you know what I'm saying? Like
Your
what?
rent due?
Yeah. What is the alter? Because I know it ain't me.
So basically, nobody believes compliments are compliments anymore.
They don't.
They don't.
No, I think it's always some type of
Ulterior
gateway,
motive.
some type of
Ulterior
something.
motive.
Yeah.
Like, let's try this real quick. Yo, Steph, you look nice today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, what did you think I was saying that for?
That I look nice today.
Okay. Adrian, you look nice today. What do you think I was saying that for?
You see it every day.
Okay.
See, well, you can't do that to
Yeah,
us and ugly things.
Damn it.
But, I mean, but to piggyback back off what you said, I do. Like a lot of guys do. Females too come to me. Hey, what's up? How you doing? You're gorgeous. What do you
Do they
want?
now?
What do you
Some-
want?
some
What-
people-
You want something? What do you want? I don't
actually
have it.
don't think like that.
Okay, so how do you think?
I think there are guys out there who definitely give compliments with ulterior motives, but I also think there's people out there who can give honest compliments and honest feedback. Probably because I get most of my compliments from other females, and I would hope I don't give off the aura that says, "Girl, come flirt with me." So I can see, like, I'll tell Stephanie in a minute, like, "Girl, you wearing the hell out of that dress." And there's nothing behind it, but hey,
Fellas do
my
it too.
girl
Be like,
look
damn,
good
bro,
out
them
there,"
shoes
like,
is hot.
See, and that's you though.
Right.
Like I can take
Yeah.
that from you, but it's just hard to take
Big
because
impressed.
I got it so much the negative way. So
Right.
now my mindset is now that
That's what I
it's
was gonna say.
always
Some
gonna
people
come
might
out
not
that
be
way.
used to
I think
nice
it's
compliments.
you got to incorporate the deliverance, the tone, the
Yep.
gestures, and then
Body
it's
language.
always got to be what come behind it. Because normally, if a man say, "Ooh, girl, you looking fine today," you be like, "Thank
That's-
you."
Yeah, that's different. Or
Nah.
now,
I
is
bet
it-
you
you look
like-
beautiful.
I bet
Like you
you
look
like-
beautiful today.
That was coming after that.
Yeah, I said, ooh,
If he looking at you like he ready to take a bite out of you like a downtown hot dog, then yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Girl, you
like,
looking
Or
fine.
he ready to take a
Girl.
bite out of you like a corned beef
why
sandwich.
your man let you out
Yeah.
the house like that? Ooh, he
He
must
ready.
don't know what he meant. And it's like,
Well, that's
okay,
not a compliment. That's
grandpa.
flirting. Like, there's a difference between compliments and flirting.
Yeah.
But
Like, that's flirting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They dress it. It depends on how they dress it up.
Right.
But wait
Yeah.
though, you might actually be trying to generously compliment somebody. Yeah, you know what I mean. Genuinely compliment somebody, and then they just look at you like it made them uncomfortable. Like, it's not my fault that you.
Some
ain't
people
been
don't know how to
told a
take
lot
compliments.
That you look nice. in
So,
your
yeah,
life,
like
you know?
compliments make me feel weird sometimes. Like if you like
If they keep going into it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. So
like that does make me feel, but then I'm thinking like, what do you want? Like what are you trying to get out? Like I'm wearing sweatpants and like a dirty T-shirt. You know what I'm saying? What are you complimenting me on for real? Oh,
Because you got some
Or no, people that be like, "Why are you being so nice to
you
me?"
know what?
Like,
I know other
why,
compliments.
why are you being so nice to
I
me?
just don't
Stop
know what
being
to say,
nice.
like-
It's annoying.
That's a flirt.
Like what?
My brother, he made this joke, and it was like he used to feel sorry for the guys that would be on my page because they would be like have these like really warm like. Good morning, goddess. You look like the sun has risen over you, and
Oh, man.
your day is going to be filled with joy. and they have these long paragraphs, and I would type back GM.
Hey, they sitting there like,
Trying to make you feel special.
My brother used to
Good
be
Marcus?
Like, he was like, I would go down my timeline. He was like, and I would see you at so many people's Man Crush Monday, and you wouldn't even say thank you. And I'd be like, people made me their Man Crush Monday. I mean, Woman Crush Wednesday or whatever. But like, yeah, I just don't get into it. I don't. It's weird to me. Like, I just think it's overkill. Like,
Compliments is weird to me in general. Like, I already know. You ain't gotta tell me.
because you conceited. That's different. There's not a compliment anybody could give you that you ain't give yourself already.
It's not conceited, it's confidence.
That's what I'm saying.
It's confidence,
Very
and it's
confident
just
in
like,
my appearance and my aura and how I present myself to the world and how I'm received by the world. I don't need to be, reassured. I'm not one of those people.
No, I mean
one or
like,
two be like, okay, but then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you like,
yeah. Like I don't need to be like. Here's the thing. I don't need to be reassured, but at the same time, it's like. It's good, to, like for real, because I'm a confident dude. But it's good to know, like, you know what I'm saying. Like, hey, if I, because I don't want to be like, if I got on a suit, right? I want to be complimenting on my suit because I don't want to be walking around in no garbage suit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need the compliment, but at the same time, yeah, it helps. Like, it's like, okay, yeah, all right, cool. I got my fresh on today. All right, bet, cool. You know what I'm
Just
saying?
how where we are, right?
So what?
We sitting here talking about how we don't need to compliment now, but let somebody not compliment us and we want to compliment, are we real mad?
See, I don't ever want a compliment. I don't look for compliments. It's nice if I get them, but I'm not looking for one. You know what I'm saying? I'm never looking for a compliment. If I got my hair cut, it's like I look at it literally because I was supposed to get my hair cut. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to walk around looking bushy. So you're like, man, you got a nice fade. Or Stephanie's like, man, your hair looks nice. Or you're like, oh, yo, that shirt looks nice on you. Well, in my head, I'm like, it's a clean one. You know what I'm saying? Like,
This girl's enough to drive.
At least.
For me, I was bullied most of my life.
me too.
Me
so.
too. believe it or
So
not.
when somebody
Same
gives
here.
me a compliment, I don't know if they're just being an asshole
Me too.
or if
Right.
they're being genuine.
Because you don't
I
know.
think that's really what it is. It's the awkwardness of it because
It is, or if they, because you don't know if they're gaslighting you. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. This was a weird compliment, and I actually messed with somebody when she said this to me. She was like, "You lost a lot of weight. You look good." And so I was like, "Oh, so what? I look like a piece of crap before or something? Like, you know?" So what? I was a fat piece of crap a year ago. You ain't tell me I looked good a year ago when I was bigger, but now you're like, "Oh, you lost weight and you look good." They were being nice. They weren't trying to be. You know what I'm saying? It was a compliment, but it's just like. It did sound like you were saying, because if you really listen to the sayings, oh, you lost a lot of weight. You look great now. You know what I'm saying? Now. Now. But I would. But
Words.
say what?
Like how they use the word.
Yeah. But that's because say for instance, that's if they're like, yo, hey Nick, you gotta, say for instance, you had a high top fade, right? And you get it cut short.
Like
Like
Duncan Penderhughes.
man, you look way better with that fade, bro. Good. You know what I'm saying?
First of all, I want to throw this at you
Why? Oh, violence.
because
Cause you violent.
Get this on camera.
Don't throw no makeup at me. I can't do nothing with
Get
it.
this on camera so Nick can press charges.
he just
Fight.
I'm gonna come over there and paint your face with it.
She can't even get it out. Like
You can't even get it out. You can't even get it
He
out.
couldn't even give just a regular. He like Duncan Penderhughes, and it's like,
He had a high top fade.
why do you feel like everybody know who that's gonna be?
What?
I don't know who it is.
It's
I don't know who
like-
that is.
Hold on. What? Hold on.
You missed that?
What? Yeah, I did.
But you want to talk about going back in generations, and you want to say something about the 90s?
I know who it is. That's why
Bye.
I said it. Like,
Hold on, what-
nobody
hold on,
else
what
is
is
gonna
it? What
know
did you
who
say?
it is.
Duncan Penderhughes. Whenever you talk about my hot top fade, I say like Duncan Penderhughes. Okay,
You talking
wanna
about
say
from
somebody else?
Kid and Play?
From Class Act.
Class Act.
His name on Class Act was Duncan
Bruh,
Penderhughes.
bruh.
Nobody's gonna know that.
No,
but
nobody knows Duncan Penderhughes, bro.
Okay, so somebody
Just say
knows who
kid,
Duncan
bro.
Penderhughes-
Just
at
say
least you know who
kid.
Duncan Penderhughes is.
Nobody knows
I knew
who.
who it was.
Kid forgot who Duncan Penderhughes is. He was like, "Oh, what movie is
Who he
this?"
was referring to? Like,
Y'all so difficult. See, y'all are
No, we're
difficult.
not. You should have just said kid. We would have all knew.
No,
everybody, like, and I knew
Because,
what point he was
you know,
trying to make,
no.
but it was missed by everybody else.
So you can say Will Smith and Mike Lowry, but you can't say kid and Duncan Penderhughes. Like, because if you say Mike Lowry, everybody know you
Duncan's-
talking.
the fact that y'all
Duncan's
even
high top
calling him
fade was higher than
Kid
Will Smith.
and his real name is Christopher
I
shows
did-
that y'all have
Yes,
identified
okay,
him
yes, we
with
know.
a character named
See,
Kid.
I mean,
Look,
that's just
see,
like Day-Day
see,
with, what's his name?
Duncan
I know him as
Penderhughes.
Kid.
That is definitely Duncan Penderhughes.
Blade Brown.
And Blade Brown, yes.
Y'all know about Blade Brown.
So Rags, how do you feel about taking compliments, my
Yo,
brother?
what are you looking at?
About say that again.
How do you feel about taking compliments?
Oh.
Well, and what do you think it's easier for men to give compliments or women and receive them at the same time?
I think it's easy for both. I mean, if you carry yourself a certain way, of course you're gonna be complimented. And then when you do, I had to learn when I got when I would get when I for a while ago when I was complimented, I made excuses for the way I looked when I got a compliment. It was like, oh well, thank you. Well, you know, I'm trying. And then someone said, stop. Just say thank you.
And that's what he was
Yeah.
telling me all the time. Like, just take the compliment.
That's probably the best way to handle a compliment. Just say thank you.
I was like, because I told you I'm uncomfortable with it. So
Adrian, your
I
breath is really fresh today.
See, you are today, so you mean it wasn't like this last Sunday?
So just say thank you. Take the
Thank
compliment.
you.
You see?
It really is. Believe it or not, it's extremely difficult to just say thank you, because we come with all other reasons to just
I'm gonna
not
give you my dimples.
how to answer that. With the real answer is straightforward. Thank you. I give men compliments when I see something that is specific that I think looks good on them. We need to hear that from each other as well.
You
Right,
told
we
me I
do.
look well earlier.
When
Like,
they
you
smell
look well.
good
You
too.
know, when someone says, "Oh man, I like them shoes you're wearing, brother," but thank you.
I'm trying to get like you, my brother.
Curve though, curve.
Curve. Nothing behind it.
He said curve.
But those are the, I mean, that's just a common acknowledgement for someone that has made an effort to put their best for themselves. Because
Facts.
really, you're complimenting a person for what they've done for themselves. And it's and that's like being very, it's like being acknowledged. Like,
Acknowledgement.
yeah.
A sign of respect.
A
Yeah,
man
it's
can
like,
never
well, I
have for
did.
a woman.
And it
Right.
makes you feel good. It
we got
gives you, it makes you feel good.
I ain't gonna lie though, and I'm gonna tell you a little pet peeve.
Amazing.
When I be around, when I don't get complimented, and somebody else standing next to me do get complimented, I be like, yo,
What about me?
you. I'm like, yo, I know you see me standing here too. You ain't about to compliment this person and not compliment me. I be like, you know what? Fuck
Wait a
you.
minute, wait a minute. They're standing right next to you and they compliment him and they don't compliment you.
Yeah.
And he's like, yo, they start moving away. They just
Well,
take
that's
a step.
it for tonight's
step
show.
to the-
terrible.
Look,
I know.
It's
That's
time for
really
us to
bad.
go.
look,
Terrible, y'all.
y'all, if I'm around somebody, you better have 2 bullets in that chamber.
Uh-oh.
You might not shoot.
It's time for us to go.
All right.
That's it for tonight's show.
Guess what? War is over.
Thank y'all for.
But we gonna give y'all a special show next week. We gonna let y'all choose our topic, but y'all gotta let us know by Tuesday.
Yeah, y'all gotta let us know by Tuesday.
Uh-oh.
The audience is you pick the topic day on Red Line Radio. And it gotta be something smart. Don't be like, hey, the topic should be about glue. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it can get deep. It can get deep, but
Like, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
give us
Like,
a little
come on.
something. You got Deleon, Steph, Slick Nick, Uncle Rags, Queen Adrian. It's your boy King Pothole Pablo.
Yeah.
This is our show.
And stuff.
I did say Steph.
said
didn't
I did.
hear it.
Yeah.
I heard
yeah.
it say.
We got my man Lee on the ones and twos. Lee with the money. Shout out, man. And Queen Steph again. And shout out to our show affiliates, Selena. Shout out Lisa Jai. Shout out Elena King. You know what I'm saying? Yo, big shout outs to the squad. You know, it's TMI, Redline Radio. We're going to see y'all next.
Happy Saturday.
And shout out our boy Timbuktu.
Welcome to our party.
Have a good week, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.